Hello, everybody, and we're going to have a conversation about hope. Ahmed, yeah,
Heather, you're
I
getting
got a
better. You're
nod.
getting better.
I'm
You're
getting
getting
better.
better.
I got a nod. Yeah, we're talking about hope. We've been having conversations behind the screens because, well, there hasn't been much on-screen stuff happening, and hope was really salient because it's like the genesis of everything, right? If we hope, then it anchors us onto something. And from there, all the other things get added on. Um, like we need to obviously find right participation through faith and all of these things, but hope is like the opening of the door, right? Like it's the allowance for potential to sneak in, and therefore it's like super important. Also, I've had many conversations about false hope. Um, False hope was also something that was left or exited Pandora's box last or something. So, like, false hope is a disaster. True hope is salvation. So that's where we want to go. So Ahmed is struggling with this issue, so I'll let him lead the direction of the conversation.
It's First of all, thank you for the introduction. I think what really helped is the way you described hope as an opening of the door. I was hoping I was hoping to start somewhere else, but I think it sort of guides the conversation to a metaphor of hope, which I haven't quite explored yet, but maybe this is actually a good chance to explore it right now. So I think of hope as something along the lines of waiting in the dark for the sun to rise again. So you're in the dark and you woke up for prayer, or you woke up to start your day, and you have this trust. You're walking out, and even though it's dark, you can't see what you're doing, you can't see where you're going. You still have hope. You still trust that the way will show up, that the sun is going to rise, and you will still be able to walk this path even though you can't see anything at the moment. And it really is just like being in the dark. And being in the dark doesn't have to be literal dark, but it could be, for example, when somebody out of the blue strikes you with this unwarranted, unnecessary, harsh comment, for example, and suddenly you're swept off your feet and you have no idea how to react to it. You're put in a situation where you were not prepared. You might be hurt emotionally, and you don't know, should I take this personally? Should I take this comment seriously? You're shaken completely, but you recognize, okay, now I'm in the dark. Now I'm in the dark. Now I'm in a completely unfamiliar territory. But the sun will rise. I know the
Hmm.
sun is going to rise even though I am in the dark right now. And I just need to navigate the situation carefully until the sun rises.
So there's two things happening here, right?
Mhm.
Because the description that you gave of that situation, I would call it a flood,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
right? And so
Yes.
darkness is the absence of light, right? Like the flood is the absence of ground.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
so a flood is not darkness,
Mm-hmm.
and darkness is not a flood, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so darkness constrains your options, while a flood uh, wipes out your agency in some sense, right? Or your ability to to gather agency.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, which ones of those are you referring to?
Let me think about this for a second. Flood is resonating a lot more in this situation, especially
Hmm.
when referring to this particular case. I'm talking about this particular case because it happened many times over the past weeks, where somebody just makes a comment that is completely unwarranted and completely out of the blue. And I'm thinking, should I take this comment seriously or should I just ignore it?
Hmm.
And my response had been to pray in these moments. To pray is like, dear God, please show me what I'm supposed to do in this situation. And hope would arise in such situations when I would recognize, when I would remember that I want God more than anything else. I would remember what that was like, what it's like to just, okay, what if God was communicating something to you in this situation? Wouldn't you accept it no matter what? Like, no matter what the demands, no matter what the sacrifices needed, I am willing to accept what is being communicated to me right now. And that was the moment of hope. And
Hmm.
this moment is what put everything in perspective. I am willing to accept that I'm supposed to take on whatever task is being demanded by whatever this person is saying. And because I got into that position where I'm not resisting reality, where I'm not resisting any truth, things it was sort of like this Japanese puzzle where if you try to pull too hard, it would kind of tighten up on itself. But if
Hmm.
you release, then you're able to set your finger free.
Hmm.
And then the reality of the situation would show up. Like, for example, I'll give you a very solid example. I have a very, very close friend. And the other day, he just, like, I don't know, he was referring to something like, not that memory is foggy. I'm not going to go for that example. Let me just think of a proper example first.
Let's just go through what you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you started off with a binary of seriousness and ignoring,
Mm-hmm.
and in some sense, you opened up a third option, a third way through prayer,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you identified that as hope. Um, so I would already take issue with the binary, right? Because seriousness or ignoring it can happen on multiple levels, right? So I can ignore your tone but not your comment. I can ignore your comment but not your tone, right? Um, and like taking something serious, right? It's like it's not obvious what that means to, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like yes, prayer is the right answer, right? Because that opens up the way for the situation and God in that situation to speak to you. Um, but casting it in a binary is already really problematic, right? Because then it presupposes that you have answers, right? Which is like that's a lie, right? Um, and so I also wanted to go back to the dark situation, right? Not because I think it's right or something, right? But the way that you're casting it was waiting for the light,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So there was a passive nature that snuck in because
Mm-hmm.
you're like it's out of your control, right? And there might be just a situation of where you need to step into the light, right?
Right. Right.
Because like it's not like when you're in darkness, like that's a consequence of you, right? Like, because
Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
God,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
God
Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah.
disappear. Um, so I'm pointing at all these things, right? Because the way that we frame the situation um, limits the actions that are available to us, right? So if we cast something that is a flood as darkness, then we don't see that we could swim or even walk on the water, right? Like these
Mm-hmm.
things are like what well, they're not allowed to be hoped for, right? Because you can't walk on darkness,
Mm-hmm.
but you can walk on water, right? So it's important, right? And if we go to the hope, right? So you said that there's a possibility of God's will, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
so in if in God's eyes we can walk on water, right? Then that situation now becomes more the question of, well, how do I do that, right? Like how can I participate in that power that God is willing to grant me?
Mm-hmm.
While if we're in darkness, that situation doesn't come up, right? So if we connect it to hope, right, it's like where can we hope for, right? If we don't understand where we're at, we can't have right hope.
Mm. So what I have here, very good point, very very good point, and there's a very important distinction between the flood situation and the darkness situation here. And in general terms, in the flood situation, there is a way to take up a position where you will float. Like the only thing you have to do is take up the position. In the darkness situation, you need a torch, and you need a reliable torch, not
Hmm.
one that's you need a torch with reach that can reach far away. And
Hmm.
in the case of the darkness, to put it in concrete terms, you're going to need guidance. You're going to need the right books, the right prayers, the right invocations, and so on, and the right people, of course. This is where
And
the
understanding
and the right
and
understanding
wisdom.
and wisdom.
Yes.
There's a lot of things that need to be concrete that guide you through the darkness before the sun begins to shine. Whereas in the right,
I
because
would
when the
argue that
sun
I
begins to
would
shine,
not like I think that's what you're talking about is walking without faith,
why so?
right? Well, we've been talking about Thomas, right, the apostle who needed to touch Jesus, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the situation that you're talking about is like touching Jesus, right? So
Mm,
if you use all the handholds of the right books and the right teachers and blah blah blah,
mm, mm,
and then something will be revealed to you in your walking, right?
mm-hmm,
That is you touching truth,
mm, mm-hmm,
right? Or truth,
mm-hmm,
or being touched by truth, right? But there's a different
mm-hmm,
path, right? The
mm-hmm,
path of faith. Um, and I've been watching a lot of Chinese shows, I guess, and they're these Chinese shows. They always create a situation where you're faced by a challenge that you can't beat, all right, and
mm-hmm,
you have to reach beyond yourself, right?
mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm,
that's their version of faith, right? Like that's their way of, and then the self transcendence as a consequence of facing adversity is their salvation, right? That's the story that they're telling, right? Oh, if you're only like this person, you're going to be awesome. You're going to be the best version of yourself. That's basically what they're communicating, right? Which is partially true, right?
mm-hmm,
L- Like that's a hope that they're giving, right? It's like, oh yeah, there's this possibility that the miracle will happen in adversity,
mm-hmm,
right? So in Christianity, they say the miracle will happen if you believe in truth, right? So the pathway to salvation is a different one, right? The
mm-hmm,
truth will guide you to the right action, to the right way of being, to the manifestation, and there's also a different metric of success,
mm-hmm,
right?
mm-hmm,
Like the metric of success is not in overcoming the situation, right? At least not in the way that they're describing it. It is in adherence to the truth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you maintain your adherence to the truth, you are overcoming the situation by
Mm-hmm.
definition, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know how I want to connect that back to hope, right? But those are different hopes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And one is hope in that which is seen, or at least uh, by seeing drawn out, and the other hope is by aspiring to something, right? That you're drawn into that.
Right. Right. I to connect it back to the torch example. So I think your problem with this is that it doesn't reach outside of yourself when you're using the torch. The handholds are still in you. They're still you. You're not reaching in the darkness and trusting that your hand will be held in the darkness, that there will be something outside of yourself that will save you from within, from inside out, as we said last time. And
So the distinction would be, right? Like one is you see the light, right, and you're trying to go for it, and the other one
mhm.
is I tell you there's light, and you just walk. And
you,
then
you
in
you
the
tell me you
walking,
tell me there's light, and I wait for our eyes to adjust and start seeing that light.
no, you just live as if there is light, and then the light will appear.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
But you don't wait with walking.
ah, okay, okay, okay. Wait. So because if I'm trying to push the darkness metaphor to its limits at the moment, because now I'm kind of seeing it differently. That I'm not waiting for any light to appear to me. No, the light's already there. I'm just looking at the situation wrong.
Yeah, you're blinding
Yeah.
yourself.
I'm blinding myself by looking for the wrong kind of light because I'm still
Right.
stuck in the same perspective. But what you're saying, what you're suggesting to me is that no, the light's already there. And in order to see that light, you need to be faithful to the reality that there is light. And when you act
Mhm.
in accordance with that reality, that's when you start seeing, that's when your salience landscape shifts, and whatever is salient is recognized as irrelevant. And not well, recognized for its true relevance, let's say.
Mhm.
Now
So,
that's
so
still
I
very,
have a good analogy, right? So when
yeah.
you wake up, right, and
Mm,
the sun is shining bright outside, and you open your eyes, and you're like, I don't see anything,
mm.
right? And there's two options, right? One is the option I choose most of the time, and it's like close your eyes again, right? The other one is to trust that there is seeable ways,
Yeah.
and you wait for your eyes to adjust, right? That's it.
But yeah, that's what I meant when I said wait for your eyes to adjust in the dark, right? It's like you trust that there is a way that even though I don't see right now, that there is a way to look that will allow me to see. And I'm just looking in the wrong way and just need to find that right way to look. Um, I'm just trying this is very abstract still. I want to try to, but maybe this is, never mind. It's premature. But let's go forward with this, and it'll find its way to us. Our eyes will adjust to it eventually. Um, so there's not even a waiting for the sun to rise. There's a recognition that no, the light is there, and I will begin to see if I just look properly.
Right. Well, I would even take it further, right?
Mm. Like
Like
you
I
would
like
probably.
I like I think in some ways we're already seeing, but we're ignoring that we're seeing it,
Mhm. Can you
right?
elaborate on
Because
that
our
a little bit?
well, we have a subconscious, right?
Hmm.
What has a better relationship to the truth, our conscious or our subconscious?
Conscious, or both
No,
actually. Both.
no, no,
No.
no. Our subconscious necessarily has to be truthful, right?
Hmm.
Because else it doesn't work, right?
But I mean, sometimes it doesn't work properly, right?
Oh, yes. Right. Like it's not perfect, right? I'm not saying your
Mm.
subconscious is perfect, right?
Okay.
But it 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 necessarily is less corrupted than your thoughts because your thoughts, well, depending on how divine you are in your thoughts, right? But in general, your thoughts are corrupted by nonsense, right? Whilst your subconscious is dealing with the things that are relevant, right? It's like when you're riding a bicycle, right? You, you're not busy evaluating whatever. No, you're just participating in it in a truthful manner, right? Which which means that you will go forward, right? You will
Hmm.
you're participating in the purpose of riding a bicycle, and so when you're doing that, it's almost impossible to be false,
Okay, I
right?
understand now what you mean. A little bit more what you mean by our unconscious is more true. It's when you're trying to do something on purpose. It's like when I'm trying to be your friend, I cannot be your friend
Right.
because there's corruption. I'm trying to reach for the fruit. Whereas when I, so to speak, go with the flow and let, so when you say subconscious, now I'm understanding subconscious in a different way. There's more like the ground on which you stand, because that's your subconscious. It's the
Well,
that
it's
which,
it's your historical reference. Yeah.
your background.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's your background, and but your background can be false. You can adopt a false background sometimes.
Yeah, but this is the same argument, right? Like, so there's honor your father and your mother, right?
Mhm.
But you can have a bad father and a bad mother,
Yes.
right? Does that change the situation?
Yeah. Okay. Right. What I'm thinking of right now is kind of the meaning crisis stuff. Like one of the things that John was saying at the beginning of the meaning crisis, that in order to address the meaning crisis, we need to understand what got us there to begin with. Because if we are enmeshed in a certain framework or in a certain world, we need to know which we can't just fight the world in which we're participating, because then we're fighting ourselves. You
Yeah.
can't fight the ground on which you stand. But anyway, this kind of takes us away from hope and
Well,
yeah.
no, you can
You
with God.
can, but the question is whether the
With God.
consequences would be good. With God, yeah, with God, absolutely, with
Yeah,
God.
well, you ought to with
Yeah,
God even.
yeah.
Like,
With God, you can
so,
fight against it.
yeah.
With God, you can, because that's actually, this is how it ties back to hope. Because in a sense, hope is also trusting that God will find you in whatever world you're enmeshed in,
Hmm.
and you will find God in whatever world you're enmeshed in,
Right, and He will liberate you from it.
and He will liberate you from it. Exactly.
And that goes back to the honor your father and your mother, right?
Hmm.
You don't honor your father and your mother because they hold the truth, right?
Hmm.
You honor them because they give you the option to get to the truth, right? And without them, you wouldn't have gotten there.
Let me let that settle down for a second. I like it. I like the way this is going.
So it's like everything is corrupt, right? Because we're in the flesh,
Yep.
right?
Hmm.
So like I don't like that for vacant framing, but one for vacant framing I do like is the hermeneutics of suspicion, right? So as a consequence of the
Yeah.
corruption, we can live without hope, right? Because no, there's falsehoods in everything, right? My
Hmm.
understanding, my subconscious is wrongly trained. My parents were false uh, sources of information.
Hmm.
Um, uh, Society has oppressed me and did not help me develop into the person I ought to be. All of it, right? And so, what's the answer? Right? If you're skeptical, you're gonna say, okay, like now I need to question everything. It's like all these people like I deconstructed Christianity. Like that's what Vivek is doing, right? He's trying to get to this perspective. He's gonna stand on the hill and look down and see everything. It's like no, like no, like you can't be the judge of yourself in the world. Like it's not
Hmm.
an option,
Hmm.
right? And so that's what the hermeneutics of suspicion does, right? That's not the answer. What is the answer, right? Like, and we've been talking about this, and I want to introduce this in the conversation. You have a positive framing and a
Mm.
negative framing, right? So, what's the hermeneutics of suspicion? That's the realm of negative framing.
Yep.
What is the realm of the positive framing? That's what hope is,
Yeah.
right? You put your hope in anything, right? And you say, well, the thing that I put my hope in is going to get me away from where I'm at, right? Now, some of things are good to place hope in, or a little bit of hope, right? Maybe not a lot, but a little bit of hope. And other things, like the truth, is the actual place to put your hope, right? Like that
Hmm.
is worthy of your hope.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so that's the positive framing. And like, what does the positive framing do? Well, it says, okay, there's a bunch of things, right? Like here we go into relevance realization. Well, how do I know which things I need to be skeptical of? Stop being
Hmm.
skeptical and accept the path to truth, right? Well,
Hmm.
then it's like, well, which path to truth, right? And then you get Vivek, and he goes to the Buddhist, and then the Qigong, and it's like, but yeah, you don't understand what truth is, right? But we
Uh-huh.
we don't have to go into it, right? Because if we accept that truth exists, right,
Yes.
that is
Yes.
the place we ought to place our hope, right? And then the
Exactly.
question is, how do we do that? But that's a little bit different conversation.
Yeah.
Not too much different, right? Because at a certain point you can't de- disconnect it, right? But
I
let's
don't know
just
how
say,
different it is, to be honest. I think it's gonna come in at some point. I think it's
yes,
gonna come in at some point.
but we
Mhm.
have to say, right, if truth is the source of us, right, like it is how we fully live, by which we fully live, right, then that is by definition the correct place for our hopes,
Mhm.
right?
When you say this, I'm reminded by something that constantly happens in my case. So whenever I get into this flood situation, something happens. I am swept off my feet. My supervisor is angry. Or maybe my material existence is threatened. Whatever you want to say. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. There's a more solid example I have. This happened to me, for example, 5 years ago when I broke up with my ex-wife. I was in a situation where I was doing my master thesis. I did not know if my student visa would be approved. I did not know if I would manage my courses with all of the emotional weight. But one thing was certain was that if I gave up, I'm definitely going to lose. But if I gave it all a chance, then I had nothing to lose. There was a reality. It was a tough reality. It sucked, but I could only benefit from accepting that reality, and that's the truth. And and there's hope right there. There's hope right there that something is confronting you, and you can only benefit by turning towards it and not away from it. And this is what I hear when you're saying truth. I also connect it to something else that Socrates talks about, or more like a metaphor when I'm thinking of Socrates. If you think about what's happening, for example, in the Republic, you have Thrasymachus who's like, I know the truth and stuff like that, and Socrates keeps poking holes in his arguments. Thrasymachus is trying to ground himself in his charm and his charisma, and in his logic and in his arguments. And Socrates keeps trying to show him that no, look, I can remove this from under your feet. And then what do you have? Whereas Socrates, so Thrasymachus is grounding his self-confidence, his identity in these temporary and fragile things. This is the problem with self-esteem. Self-esteem, you make up the statements like I'm good enough for X, I'm good enough for Y, and then if something threatens it, then your entire being is threatened. But when it comes to Socrates, his identity is grounded in truth. So whatever the truth is, he says yes to the truth, and in doing so, he becomes immortal. By dying, he becomes immortal. And To situate it back to hope, hope is remembering that no matter what happens to you, you can always find that positioning. You can always find that position where you are alive again by being anchored in the truth and not in a false image.
Yeah. So two things right now. So I want
Hmm.
to distinguish hope
Hmm.
into two kinds of hope,
Hmm.
right? So in Christianity, you have a promise, right? And then you have a witness.
Hmm.
So when someone promises you, right, that's like at least if you trust that person, right, that is a crystallized hope, right? Like now you're accepting that as true,
Hmm.
right? And you're organizing your life around that being true, right? So for example, when I say I'll meet you at the train station, I'm
Hmm.
going to pick you up. Like you're not going to be concerned about finding your own uh, way to wherever you need to go, right? Because you're going to rely on me,
Hmm.
right? And so like in some sense, like you cut off part of reality, right? And
Hmm.
you say it's not relevant, right? And then
Hmm.
and you put it under my dominion,
Right, right, right.
right? And so if you don't believe me, you won't do that, right? You
Yep.
can't have faith in that situation, and you're
Yeah.
gonna make a contingency plan, right? That's where the hermeneutics of suspicion, right? It's like, oh,
Hmm.
right, and you can see how that will mess with your life, right? Because then you stop being able to live because you have to account for everything. It's like, no,
Hmm.
that's my accounting because I made the promise. All right. So that's one thing, right? I don't know if the analogy will hold, right? But just let's just say we've done that 10 times, right?
Mm.
And now the meaning of me saying, I'm going to pick you up, right? And the hope that's connected to that is going to be different, right? Because the confidence that you have in me is going to be self-evident,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? Because yes, Manuel is the person that is going to do that, right? He's keeping his word. Um, so that's different than when I, for the first time, tell you this. Right? It's just like walking this bridge, right? This bridge that it looks a little bit shady and whatever. And you walk the bridge, and you're like, oh no, this thing will hold me, right? And
Okay.
like the
Yeah.
next time
Yeah.
you walk the bridge, it's like no, like
I
you're
trust
not
it.
even doubting, even though your eyes tell you differently, right?
Mm.
And so that's kind of it, right? There's a before, right? A virginity, and there's an after, right? When you've lost your virginity, right? And so
Hmm.
this virginity is really important, right? Because it basically sets the stage,
Hmm. Hmm.
right, of your understanding of the world. Now, if you lose your virginity in a wrong way, right, that's really bad, right? Because now everything after that you're gonna have to correct for, right? Because you can't believe in you've learned falsely, right? So the Bible says we have to be as children when we enter the kingdom of God. Like, what does a child do, right? He gets on the bike, he
Yeah.
falls, he cries for
Mhm.
20 seconds, and then he's like, "Oh, cool, let me try again," right? And if that's not the reaction, right, then we're like, "Oh, something is wrong,"
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
like we have to consider ourselves. We're adults, right? Like we've appropriated truths, right? Because we've had wrong experience or we have wrong explanations of our experience.
I see many things converging here. First of all, I see the. Okay. Go on. I think you still want to talk about the second kind of hope first.
Well, no, no, like that's the distinction, right? So there's, let's just say, right, if you have a bad experience, right,
Mm.
what do you hope for? For your wisdom to turn the situation right. You
Hmm.
don't hope for the way to unfold that the situation
Yeah.
unfolds correctly,
Yeah.
you hope for your reliance upon yourself.
Yes. Yes.
And then you cannot walk in faith and you're in the
Yeah.
hermeneutics of suspicion.
Yes. 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 This goes back to honoring your parents. Honor thy mother and thy father. So
Hmm.
if I'm in a way and that way has yielded bad fruit so far, I cannot just reject everything. I need to be hoping that even within this corrupt way, somehow it will reintegrate into the kingdom of God. Now I'm so okay.
So
Here's the
now
thing.
I want to give you the word redeem,
Yeah, yeah, redemption. Yeah, yeah. It is a
right?
way
So
of
what
redemption.
does redeem mean?
The explanation I remember you gave me once, I think it means that it is sort of repurposed so that it has a place again in the kingdom of God.
Yeah.
Correct?
In other words, you um, put it on the rightful ownership.
You surrender it to the rightful ownership.
Well,
Correct?
yeah, it's placed on the rightful ownership, right? The
Do
return
you
on the
mean okay? So in a sense, you surrender it to God. You give it to God when
well, that depends on what it is, right? Like if I have a coupon, right?
okay,
The store told me that I can have something, right? If I redeem the coupon, I return it under the right ownership, right? The
okay,
product,
mm,
right?
okay, okay,
So
okay.
that's what it is, right? You return things under the rightful ownership, right? So what does that mean? Things are placed under wrong ownership, right?
Hmm.
They're stolen, right? They're taken away, they're kidnapped, and they need to be placed back. Whether you do that by surrendering, that's possible, right? It's also possible that there's another pathway, right? That, but important is the importance is that righteousness, right? What was the republic about, right?
Hmm.
Justice, right? Things
Just
being right.
I've never thought about redemption in this sense. Redemption has always been associated for me with punishment and revenge. Um, Now it's coming more in the sense of relinquishing something. Relinquishing, I think relinquishing is also related to redemption in a certain sense. So,
Yeah, but what is eye for an eye? You took my eye, so I've claimed to your eye.
mhm.
So I need to redeem your eye.
Ah, okay. So it includes this vengeance. It includes punishment in a certain way. Okay, reclaiming. It's very interesting.
That is
Right.
the justice by strength, right? Natural justice.
Yeah, and forgiveness and divinity comes in forgiveness here, but let's not just go there right now.
Well,
But
I don't know. Like divinity might say, like you still need to do this,
mm,
right? But maybe
mm-hmm,
you use the state instead of doing it by yourself,
mm-hmm,
or
mm-hmm,
right? Like it depends, right? Or
mm-hmm,
maybe the state says, no, I have a different answer, right?
mm-hmm.
Like
This recognition of honor thy father and honor thy mother, I think it's been going on, and I don't think it has been going on for me for quite some time. I think we had this conversation a few months ago also, where uh, you said something along the lines of like you are under the dominion of something right now, and if you try to rebel against it, then you might be rebelling against God. You need to first put yourself under God, then you can do something. And for example, let's say I am struggling with scrupulosity. You know what scrupulosity is? Like the obsession that okay, am I doing this in accordance with religion or am I not doing this in accordance with religion?
mhm.
And I'm lost. Okay, should I be more strict? Should I be less strict right now? When I recognize that, like, there's a way in which I say, oh no, this is a result of my trauma. This is obsessive compulsive disorder. Then it's much harder to overcome it. Then I'm resisting it. Then I'm struggling against it. I might be branding an adaptive machinery as evil, and therefore, like, I'm cutting off a hand which I should not be cutting off, which just has a scratch on it.
Well, yeah, a better
Hmm.
way to describe what you just said is you name it, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Naming is putting something in a box, right? It's
Yes.
putting
Yes.
handles on it. If you have a false name,
Yeah. If you misdiagnose, like
right?
diagnosis is a very important part of therapy, and if you diagnose the wrong
Or
way,
if you have a true name and a false understanding, you still have the
yeah,
same issue, right?
yeah,
I
it's
mean,
the same. Yeah, it's pretty much this, you run into the same hellhole. And
well, I would argue that having a true name is better because the truth can speak through the name.
yeah,
If you have a false name and a true understanding of the false name, you, you're screwed. Like, how are
yeah,
you going to
yeah,
get it?
yeah, 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 that's
So,
true, because you're going to be dealing with the wrong way.
hmm
But something actually, that it's a very solid thing that's really being salient in my life right now. For example, the way I deal with doubt now, not doubt in religion, like doubt in my decisions. For example, the other day, yesterday, I was having a situation where I was having this moral dilemma. My friend currently is struggling with cancer, and I'm trying my best to be present, taking care of him, and taking him from the hospital and stuff like that. And I took him home. I did some shopping for him, and then I had some plans with some friends, and I wanted to see my friends. And so I asked him, "Would you like me to stay, or would you like, or is it okay for me to go?" And he's like, "Do whatever you want." And then I asked him, "No, just tell me yes or no. If you want me to stay, I'll stay." And then he says, "You know what? I think I'm fine on my own." When I left, I started having this moral dilemma. Like I couldn't stop thinking about it. Now, earlier, I would have branded this as overthinking or obsession or indecisiveness or whatever. Now I can say, okay, you know what? I actually don't know what to do. Simple as that. And so I just called someone, I talked to someone about it. And in this discussion, instead of suppressing this natural mechanism and putting it under the box of an illness, I actually allowed it to mature and have a proper understanding of how to behave in such situations in the future. So I grew instead of boxing it in some place.
right.
That's
So,
one
what
thing
if
I
I tell you that there might not be a right answer? There might just only be a right way of answering,
that would be even better. That would be
right?
even better.
Because what are you doing, right? You
Mm.
you just you're just changing two priorities, right?
Hmm.
It's like, well, how do you measure one priority against another?
Yes. Yeah.
Like,
It's
you
difficult.
really can't, right? Unless there's like a big difference, right?
Yep. Yep.
And so, like, what is important is that you take the path that you can walk honestly,
Yeah.
right? And you walk it honestly, right? Because if you mess up the path that you've taken,
Yeah.
that is an insult towards the other path, right?
Yes. 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 The thing is, what I eventually realized in this situation is that I would have been the real place where I would have, it would have been more, it would have been easier to judge if I were an asshole. If it was if he was begging me, please stay, please, I need you to stay, I'm dying, then it would have been clear that I should have stayed. But I was in a situation where the guy looked tired, he probably needed to sleep, and it wouldn't have made such a huge difference if I just went out and saw my friends, and I was already helping. But anyway, I can't judge.
Yeah. So you're asking the wrong question. Like, that's it, right? And that's what I'm pointing
I
towards, right?
agree. Mm, mm, mm.
Like, you get
What I
into you get into this trouble because you're asking the wrong question.
so I want to explore this asking the wrong question thing a little bit, but there's something else that's on my mind.
Well, let's connect it to hope, right?
Yeah,
Because hope, right hope, will show you the right question, right?
absolutely. Fully
Because
agree
if
with
you
that.
have right hope,
Yeah,
you just have to be true to that hope. So then the right question will appear in whether you're being true or not.
I don't think I could have managed that in that situation because I was sort of under the pressure to make a decision. Like there was a time constraint at that point.
Yeah, I don't know if that matters. Like, you think it matters, but
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like I'm talking about the limits of my own capabilities, not about the situation
yes,
itself.
but
Yeah.
but but if you look at it from the perspective of God, right?
Mm.
God is not going to require of you more than you can give.
Hmm.
So if you're having a framing in your head and you're saying, "Well, I can't answer it in this framing," that's not the framing where God wants your answer.
This is something I struggle with a lot, by the way. That when I cannot make a decision, I'm under stress to make a decision, the easier decision appears to be the safer one, or what I think of as the safer one.
Yeah,
And it's often very helpful to recognize this from time to time.
yeah. But sometimes that is the right answer, right?
Yeah, sometimes it's absolutely.
It's the right
Sometimes the
answer,
safer answer is the right answer. Not saying that.
right? But if if you are becoming a person without courage as a consequence of taking the safe answer, it's not
Yeah,
the right answer, right?
yeah.
Because then you just need to be courageous, and it doesn't matter what the other option is. It just matters that you're being courageous.
Being courageous. Being courageous. Yeah. I mean, the my own reaction towards it was recognizing, okay, this is a moment of doubt, simple as that. This is a decision I cannot make on my own. I think this was the proper answer. Like this was the hope. The hope was that, okay, I do not have the answer, and I have the means to actually get a better idea of what I'm supposed to do, and I have the time to have a conversation with somebody else about it. And this was the fruit of hope, so to speak. The trusting that, okay, there is a way to find an answer. And yeah,
And so
exactly.
what you did, right, is
Hmm.
you created a third way,
Yep.
right? And what is the third way? The third way is not do A or B, but it's like, no, I'm using my decision to spiritually grow.
Hmm. Hmm.
And
Yeah.
and that redeems your decision.
I'm not following on the redeems my decision part.
Well, like even if it was the wrong decision, right? It was unjust.
Hmm.
It will put the injustice.
Ah, beautiful, beautiful. It's like repentance, sort of like repentance. Like, okay, yeah, I fucked up, but you know what? Now I know what not to do next time.
No, it doesn't matter whether you fucked up. It matters that you don't know that you messed up, and it matters that you are willing to face that,
Yeah,
right? To find
willing
the
to
truth,
correct it. Yeah.
which is the higher purpose,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? Because the finding of the truth and the willingness to live in the truth and being true to trying to live in the truth is the thing that is most
Yeah.
important.
Yes. Yes, I agree with this. I agree with this. It's the core foundation of your personality in this case is that.
Right. And then you dig the right thing, right? Like
Yeah, the thing is, the beautiful thing about this is that then it's very hard to go wrong in this. Even if you do go wrong, you're still going right because
no,
you
it is
are,
not hard. It is impossible.
yeah, it's impossible to go wrong
It
in this
no,
situation.
like it's
Yeah.
literally impossible.
It's like the child learning to ride a bike. Even
Right.
if he falls, he's still learning to ride the bike.
Right. And unless he cries and creates a trauma, right?
Yeah, and then
And
that's
then
it.
he's sinning from the purpose of riding a bike.
Mm.
So he's not hoping to achieve riding a bike, but he's serving a different master.
Hmm.
He's serving safety. He's serving fear,
Mm. 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 It's serving fear and safety.
which is what our society is doing, by the way. But keep going.
Yes, this is what our society is doing. This is indeed what our society is doing. This is something I wonder. Like, I don't want to diagnose or put names on things, but I see this in European culture a lot, particularly in German culture, that when people set out to learn something, they want to know everything about it before they learn it. They want
Hmm.
to know what to do. They want to do what sort of unexpected situations arise. You get these hour-long introductions for things that just need you to just be there.
Yeah.
And then you're sort of putting yourself in a straitjacket and you're actually limiting yourself. You're
Right.
limiting
Which
yourself
which is
because
which is good, right? Like you know we're taking a detour here, but Bismarck,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
He set up the modern education system. He was a German. What was he trying to do?
Mhm.
Well, he effectively was trying to make a factory for citizens,
What?
a factory for
A
citizens,
factory for citizens. Yes, you
right?
know that image of cutting the clouds into squares in a school.
I don't know that,
I'll
but
send it to you. Yeah.
so he like why did he want to do that? Because he wanted to optimize society in a certain manner,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
But what is the consequence? Well, the consequence is that you create an optimization structure, right? It doesn't even matter what for, right? But
Mhm.
for the purpose of society, right? Which is factory work or whatever, right? And you just teach people the skills that they can optimize within that domain, right? And you don't teach them being a human, right? And then you
Exactly.
get the Nazis.
I want to read about this a little bit more. This is very interesting. This is very interesting to see because it casts into question because because then the current situation of the education system is in trouble because they're trying to repurpose something that was grounded on factory work for human work. The question is whether that works or whether
Yeah,
the education system needs to be completely from the ground up uprooted.
yeah, but
And
but
yeah.
but the issue is, right?
Hmm.
If you want to have a top-down thing,
Mm.
you're gonna have to reduce things into boxes,
Mm. Hmm.
right? And so, like you can look at the Dutch education system, like we made many boxes, right? Because many boxes is better than one crappy box, right?
Yeah.
And then you get a different issue, right? Because it's like, okay, now you have to decide which box you're in, right?
Hmm.
So now you're limiting your options that way, right?
Mm.
And still, it's not focused on the personal development, right? It's just providing a pathway which is more uh, liked by certain people,
Yeah.
right? So it's like, but uh, the only way, right, to solve this is a living answer, a
Hmm.
living tradition, right?
Yep.
And we had the living answer, we had the living tradition as a consequence of many centuries of Christianity, and we've been killing it, right?
Mm.
That's the issue, right? And it's just like there was residue, right? And the residue is dying. It's just dying because it's being replaced by noise.
Hmm.
And so it's like let's just take it back to hope, right? It's
Hmm.
like what kind of hope do you have in your education system?
Hmm.
Well, a job. Like it's not even helping you to get married. Like it's actually actively working against it
Yeah.
because if you want to optimize for your job, you can't optimize for your family.
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
So it's
Exactly.
actually making you bad parents
Exactly.
actively,
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. Exactly.
right? And then it's like, well, yeah, but you know how to learn things if you learn a lot of things, and therefore you can learn to be a good parent. It's like, well, no, no, like it doesn't work that way. But no, but that's basically the attitude that people have. And like,
Mm-hmm.
where do
Because
people
yeah.
put their hopes, right? They just put their hopes in self-help books, in how to be a good parent book, like book. It's like that's not like you need to know like a bunch of things, right? But like the book is not going to help you be a good parent, right? And it's like the walking the path, right? Even if the path is described, you see this in Christianity, right? The
Mm.
path is described in the Bible. Like nobody gets it. Nobody gets it. And they're
I
all,
think.
oh, I'm on the right path. It's like,
How
I
do you
hope
know that?
so.
How do you know you're on the
Well,
right path? Yeah.
well, I kind of know at this point. I
No,
just
not you,
have
not you, but yeah, but
no,
other
but
people.
yeah,
Mm.
what they believe. The Bible says you have to believe, Ahmed. Don't you know? If you just believe, it will happen. Like how do you believe? Just say you believe.
Hmm.
You ask for the right things, then you're a believer, right? It's like, eh, nope, sorry.
The thing is, in these situations, that the solution is usually a lot simpler than all the books, for example. It's a lot simpler than doing all of these things. Is the problem is that people would probably deflect into reading all of these books and putting their hope in this direction because they, at least for me, this is my experience of it, that if I put my hope in the right direction, it would mean I'd have to let go of a lot of things. It would mean sacrificing a lot of things. And this is why what makes hoping in the right direction terrifying for many people because they'd have to lose out on a lot of what they built. And that's where they're setting their hopes. And convince a
Mhm.
materialist or convince someone that there's a different way if they haven't experienced it before and if they don't know what it's like to taste the flavor of hope, it isn't it is possible. It's impossible. They have to experience a proper flood.
No, they have to desire with their heart,
They
true
have to
desire.
deserve with the heart, but the question is how. Like that's a decision. That's a decision
No,
that's in
that
them.
only God can do that.
Yeah, only God can give them that. That's true. Only God can. This is why I'm saying that the adversity is like a slap in
Yeah,
the face.
but no, 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 because like I've had people from AA saying this, right? Oh, you need to hit rock bottom. It's like no,
Mm,
no. Like there's plenty of people that hit rock bottom and they never get up.
interesting. Hmm.
Like rock bottom is
Actually,
not an
yes,
answer.
you're right. You're right.
You're more likely not to get up than to get up when you hit
You're
rock
right.
bottom. It's better not to hit rock bottom.
I mean, rock bottom or not, it's something that you're right. It is placed by God. It is indeed placed by God. It is a gift. Like
Right?
looking back, the decision that I made to move forward after my divorce, I don't know how I did that. It was
Yeah.
grace, right? It was
Yes.
the grace of God.
But that's where true gratitude needs to be, right?
Yeah,
Because if you if you realize where you would have ended up,
yeah,
and you're like, why am I not there? Well, there's no other answer than the hand of God. It's like, oh, okay. Then the hand of God is the source of my life, right?
yeah,
like I owe my like if you look at all these Chinese things, right? It's like some if someone is saved, right? If someone saves someone else's life, they pledge allegiance. You own my life now because you saved it, right? There's a redemption again, right? Like the
yes, yes,
transfer
yes,
of
yes,
ownership.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like what does that mean, right?
yeah.
That means that you're living on borrowed time,
Mm.
right? And so
Living on
th-
borrowed
that
time. Yeah,
then you should pay back that time to the person that
that gave it
borrowed
to you.
that to you. Yeah, it's like that makes total sense,
It's also terrifying in a way.
right?
It
But if
in a
if you're
beautiful
living,
way. Yeah.
yeah, but if you're living on borrowed time for God,
Hmm.
like why don't you just dedicate your whole life to God
Exactly.
according to that principle?
Exactly. Exactly. This is something I need to reflect on. Like the sentence just makes cognitive sense. I need to live it. I haven't lived it yet, but
Right,
that,
but that's like I was gonna say, right? I told you you don't know what it means to have hope,
mm,
right? And I'm gonna tell you you don't know what it means to be grateful,
I agree.
right?
That's true.
And it's
Yeah.
like, okay, and me too, right? Like I struggle with this
Mm,
stuff
mm,
as
mm,
well,
mm, mm.
right? But um, if you don't know what it means to have hope, right? Or if you like, let's just say, right? If God saved you from that in a miraculous manner, like, don't you think He can do it again?
Let's dwell on this for a second. The immediate answer is I don't know if he will do it again. This is the answer that popped up in my
That's
head.
not my question, though. So there you already are wrong.
Okay. Excellent. Excellent point. Excellent point. I like it.
My question is whether He can do it again.
Oh, he can definitely do it again. Yes.
Well, okay.
Wow. This is washing me up with hope right now.
Right.
That was
See,
good. That was good. Yeah.
see, that's where you need to have your hope. Oh, he can do it again. So
Oof.
that's where I need to put my hope. Like, duh.
Wow. Wow. I'm goosebumps. Wow. This is indeed beautiful.
Yeah. And it's like, ye of little faith.
Like
You
I'm
don't
actually I'm
believe.
having a bodily reaction to this. It's
Yeah. And
like
so you're not having that hope. So if you're not having that hope, you're living a lie.
mm, mm, mhm. If you're not having that gratitude, you're also living a lie.
Yes, you're not alive.
That's a,
You're slowly dying.
exactly. It's terrifying. That's what's scary.
Yes. And now you see why you need your salvation so bad.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I understand. I understand what you mean. Like this idea of when you were, I only experienced the glimpse of it. Like you should be my I think you should be trembling in true gratitude because like now I just saw a glimpse. It's like, wait, I did not do any of this. Like it was just God just gave it to me, and I went
Yes.
forward in the way. Like wow, it's
Right.
I am on the edge of being alive and on the edge of life and death,
Yeah.
and every moment I'm being renewed. It's beautiful. It's really
Right.
beautiful.
And he runs after you. He keeps running after
And
you.
he runs
After every rejection
after
that
every rejection.
you you
Ah,
rejected God so many times. It's like that's me, like waking up, right? It's like, oh no, the light is too bright. Let me go back to sleep.
the thing is, I've done this before. The exact same thing many times.
Right.
I've
But
also
just
done this.
just imagine, right? You're on the other side of that equation, right? You're like
Yeah.
you're coming with the light, and you're like, dude, I have the answer for you. I If you just take the medicine, right? You you will be healed. You will be healed.
Hmm.
And it's like, no, let me sleep.
You
Let me stay in the darkness. Yeah.
I want to say this is as a concept, but the thing is, if I hadn't had this conversation with you, I would have only had this thought as a fleeting thought when I'd be waking up. Because
Mhm.
I had this today. Like I woke up, oh, the light's there, but you know what? I want to go back to sleep. But in my head, it's like, okay, what if God's inviting me? It's like, nah, just go back to sleep. But it's this conversation that we had just now where I feel the pull, the gravity of going towards the light, that it actually becomes significant and I actually feel the weight of it. Whereas
It-
it's only propositional if I'm not in that state. And that's indeed scary. It's indeed a scary
It's
thing.
really scary, right?
Yeah.
And that's the weight of the glory, right?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Because
Yeah. Yeah. Let's do it for glory. Yes. Yes. Yes.
right,
Yes. Yes.
because
Exactly.
if you're walking in that light, you're gonna be clothed in glory,
My
right?
God, this is reminding me of, I don't know if I think there's a parallel in Christianity, but there's one in Islam that God commanded Muhammad to walk straight. Be ye straight. Be ye therefore perfect, right? I think that's the one in the Bible. Be ye therefore perfect.
No, there's a different one. Those who pick
Maybe
up the plow don't look back. That's the one.
that's not the one I'm
Because
referring to.
if you
Yeah.
pick up the plow, right?
Mhm.
If you pick up the task, if you start looking back,
You fall.
you will turn, right?
Mm.
Like when you plow, you need to make a straight line.
I'm feeling the weight of some verses from the Quran right now. Like, at least one, the one where because the Prophet ﷺ, he said this chapter, it turned my hair gray. It's because of fear, because of the weight of it.
Hmm.
It because I don't know if it's the same in Europe, but when something turns your hair gray, it means because of its weight. It's the weight of it, the stress of it has made you age very fast. You don't have
Yeah,
it in Europe.
right. Well,
Yeah,
yeah, like it
yeah.
drains the life out of you.
It drains the life out of you, kind
But
of.
that, yeah, that is not a good thing, though. But okay, like,
Well, no, it's not that it drains the life out of you, but it's just strikes you so much that it appears in your physical it gets physically embodied in you.
yeah.
Hmm.
But that's the fear of the
Hmm.
Lord, right?
That's the fear of the Lord. Yeah.
Right? By seeing how awesome He is, right? And then also, right, like go the fear of going in His presence, but also the fear of not being in His presence at the
The
same
fear of
time,
not being in His presence. Yeah.
right? Because that's where you die, right?
Yeah.
You're literally descending into hell, and then you make your home in hell and pretend that it's heaven. Because that's how Satan gets shit, right?
Yep. Yep.
But back to the hope, right? So the hope is like it's on many levels, right? Like that's the issue,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
But you were talking about the drawn, right? The desire, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And so the desire is like anchoring in that hope, right? And it's like
Hmm.
now you have to secure that, right?
Yeah.
Like you have to lift that up
Hmm.
as the highest, right? And you have to have that as your only aim, right? And then it's like you holding on to that rope is like the faith, right?
Faithfulness. Yeah.
Yeah, it's being faithful.
Absolutely.
And then, right? Then certain actions become available to you, right? And I think that's what love is, right? So you're participating in the love of God, right? Because He's now pulling you towards Him, right?
Hmm.
He's pulling you up. He's setting you straight, right? And also you get to emanate, right? Radiate that love into the world, and
Hmm.
that's when you can have love for others.
Hmm.
Like, and I don't think you can have love without that. Like like you just doing pretend.
This is, yeah, I agree. You are doing pretend, yes. Um, so first of all, let me comment on what you said. I agree, yes, that when you are there, that's when your love becomes true. That's when you actually love others as you love yourself. Love thy neighbor as you love yourself. That-
Yeah, I don't like that one, but like loving yourself is also like
Then take out the love thyself part. It's just when you love them not unconditionally. What was I'm lost, I'm out of words right now.
selfless.
Selfless love. When you love them selflessly, this is when you love them selflessly.
So
That's such a
as
loaded term, by
yourself
the way.
doesn't even make sense at that point, right?
Yes, exactly, exactly. The boundary between self and others starts to dissolve in these situations. But here's the thing: I think you need to pretend sometimes. I think you
Maybe.
still need to pretend because pretending cultivates this place in you. You go from the bottom up. You don't think so? If you pretend the right
And
way,
that's what hope is. You can't pretend the right way. Like I
what
don't
hope?
believe you can pretend the right way.
Tell me more about the hope. Tell me more about. You said that's what hope is. Tell me more about that.
Well, hope is that it will be given, bestowed upon you, that you will be blessed.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But
Yeah. Well, then you go in blind, right? And you trust God to lead you through.
then forget the pretending part. Okay, now I understand why you don't like the pretend part. But you still do the action. You still go
No, you
through the
don't do the
motions.
action.
You go through the motions. You
No, you
acts of
don't do the
charity.
motion. No, you don't
What
do
do you
these
do then?
things.
What do you do then in this case?
You follow God. Everything else will be added onto you.
Then you just take the perspective, you mean? You take the stance, you take the position,
Yes, it will
desire and
become
God,
self-evident.
and then it will become self-evident whether you should pay charity or pay
Yes,
something like this.
yes.
I don't know about that. No.
Yeah, because you don't believe.
What that's the thing. I agree with you. I agree with you. I don't believe. But I don't
Yeah, but
believe
it's
enough. I don't
no, but
believe enough. I agree
it's
with you.
super simple, right? It's like, yes, you can't know about that unless you're there.
That's the thing. That's
It's
why
like, yes.
I insist that taking actions towards this is what cultivates it in you. And that's already the start of hope.
Mm, like I'm not saying you can't do this, right?
Mm,
But I I I truly think that that is like rape.
what's it like in you? What do you understand when I say that? What's the
What it means is
Mhm,
that you enter a situation,
mhm,
right, trying to achieve a certain outcome, right? Whatever it is, right? Even an
mhm,
outcome in your participation, right? Like not an outcome in physical results, but even an
mhm.
outcome in your participation, right? In other words, you're creating the situation in your image.
Can you be
And
more
that's
concrete? Can you give a more concrete example of how this happens?
so let's just go, right? I go into this conversation with you, right?
Mhm,
And I'm like, okay, so I've thought about Ahmad, right? Or maybe even prayed about him, right? And like I have these 3 points, and like he just needs to know them by the end of the conversation,
mhm,
right? So like, what do I do? Right? I go into the conversation, right? I just try to hammer down these points, right? And I might even succeed, and it might
mhm,
look awesome, right? Look at all the glory that I've attained,
mhm,
right? But what did I not do? I didn't answer to the situation,
mhm,
right? So I didn't do God's will.
mhm. You did your will.
Yes.
I understand the problem. I understand the problem you're talking about.
And I like I'm not saying that what you're talking about, right? Like I
Mm,
said, like, ooh, look at me, I'm carrying all this glory,
okay.
right? It's like, but that's not my purpose,
Yeah,
right?
I get it now. I get the problem. I get the problem because I've ran into it before, and it caused more problems
Right.
when it happens this way.
And this is why I say it's rape, right?
Yeah, yeah, I understand because you're kind of you're imposing a personality which you don't yet have on yourself, and odds
Right.
are that this is just gonna unravel, and then you're not gonna get to where you need to get.
No, no. Like if you do have that personality, it's no
Mm.
longer an imposition, right?
Mm.
So it will unravel, right? Like it's a
Mm.
guarantee,
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.
right? Like it's not a question,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because like let's just say, right, I did the right thing, right? Like I could have done the right thing without preparing in that manner, right?
Mm.
And so it's like it's not even that I can't do the 3 things, right? And I can't write them down, right? But I have to use them as inspiration, not as a goal,
Mm.
right? That's the distinction.
As an inspiration, not as a so you aspire towards them,
No, no, I
not
don't
aspire.
aspire. No, I don't aspire. I
Mm-hmm.
get inspired, right?
Mm.
It's like it's I have building blocks, right? I
Yeah,
have
yeah.
building blocks that the Holy Spirit provides, right? But I did make notes, right?
Mm.
Not because like I wanted to do anything with the notes, but because there was things that I don't know, like my mind thought salient, right? And I noted them down, and like I can look back at them, and I'm like, oh wait, right? there's things in you, that's things that you said that I can use to proceed, right? That I can connect to in the way that I talk, right?
Mm,
So I can build, right? That's when you have a good joke, right? Good jokes often grab back to earlier in the conversation,
mm,
right?
mm,
And so they're connecting to a shared reference, right?
mm,
And that now has a coloring that is universally accepted by all the people listening, right?
mm,
And then you can do something funny with that, right? And then everybody understands it, right?
mm,
If I'm with a group of Christians, right, we have a shared reference of the Bible. I can
mm,
call back to the Bible and I can make a joke and we understand it, right? If I live in the same culture, I can reference back to the culture. I can make a joke. That makes it funny,
mm,
right? So the tying in and the more tying in that you're is possible, right? Like so you can do like a phonetic tying, right? Like a word that sounds similar, right? Or a word that is used in a different manner, right? All of these things add layers of connection, right? With association, right? Which cr- give creative insight, right? It's like, oh, I didn't
mm.
understand, see it that way, right? And that makes it look
Yeah,
like well anyway,
yeah,
yeah. So
yeah, 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 yeah.
um yeah, it's about the imposition part, right? That's the issue. Like what is imposition, right? Like imposition is actually the fear that the right thing won't happen. That's
Yes,
what
yes,
imposition is.
yes, absolutely. With that, I'm with you. With that, I'm fully
Yeah.
with you. It's like acting literally out of. It's identifying against. It's not even against, but more like acting to prevent rather acting to cause, or rather acting to do to make
And
something.
and and you can actually see fear as like an inverse hope,
I like that. Inverse hope. Fear
right? So
is inverse of hope. Okay.
so the hope is something that will lift you up, right? And that you aspire to, right? The fear is something that will pull you down and that you want to stay away from, right?
Mhm. You don't think then fear and hope are uh, cooperative processing?
No. Like
No.
one is the dominion of Satan and the other one is the dominion of God.
What about fear of the Lord?
Yeah, like I don't think fear of the Lord is the same, right? Like
Okay.
I think fear of the Lord would be better described as awe,
Oh, okay.
right? And there's a awe, some part to Lord, to
And
God,
there's an
right?
awful part.
There's an awful part from
Yeah.
God as well, which is hellfire and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
That's what I meant. Good. Good. Okay. This is what I'm going at.
Judgment,
Judgment. Yes.
right?
Judgment.
And the judgment that you can't escape from,
Mm-hmm.
because there's nothing that you can build that can overturn it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the only answer to that is to live in a lie, right? The only answer to overturn a true judgment is to live in something that's not real.
Yeah. The Arabic word for an unbeliever is kafir, which means to cover up the truth by turning away
Yeah,
from it.
what did Adam and Eve do?
They covered up their sins. They covered up their private parts.
Right? First, Adam used Eve to cover him, right? And so we use others to cover ourselves as well.
Others to cover ourselves. How so?
He told me to do it.
Ah, I see. We don't take responsibility. We put the
It was just an
responsibility.
order.
Yeah, it was just an order.
Ich habe es nicht gewusst.
Not bad. Not bad. Um, it's not just that we use others to cover up ourselves. We also use our parents to cover up ourselves. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I have this trauma.
Yeah,
Oh, I
or
struggle from
society,
ADHD.
right?
Yeah.
That's victim culture,
Victim.
right?
Oh, yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. Victim culture. Yeah, yeah, victim culture.
Like
Cover up or
it's
stuff.
it's it's not my fault that I'm not doing the right thing.
Yeah. This is
Like, whose
this
fault
is
is
the
it? Is it God's fault? No. Like, whose fault is it?
this brings a whole different way of looking at that the word kufr for me right now. Like being an unbeliever is also
A sinner.
because it's interesting. It's interesting because it's also this reference in the Quran to people who disbelieve in falsehood. So I lost my train of thought here. Never mind. Let's just
To
let's just
disbelieve, that's double negative, bro. That's
yeah, yeah.
dangerous.
It's a double negative. There's a different way of saying it. Like the idea was there and then it disappeared. I'll get to it later probably if it's important. But it's an interesting way of looking at
So,
unbelief.
so let me just say it this way, right?
Mhm.
If you say you disbelieve in falsehoods, that means that you accept their existence.
I know what you mean. Yeah, yeah. I know what you mean.
Uh, you
There's.
understand, right? So like, oh, well, I've been having a lot of 2.5-year-old experience, right?
Mhm.
And my mom is just driving me insane with asking questions. Do you want this? Do you want this? And I'm like, don't ask him. Just tell him.
Mhm.
Like, why are you asking this kid? Like,
Yeah,
what does he know?
yeah, yeah. It's a problem with modern education right now.
Well, not well. I think it's just people, in general, right? And like, it's not that you can never ask the child something, right? But like when you ask it, like you have to do some really specific, localized question,
Yeah,
right? You
yeah.
can't do, well, do you want to go upstairs, right? It's like that's already too much, right?
Mm.
It's like, no, we're going upstairs, right? And if we're not going upstairs, we'll find out later, right? like at first we're going upstairs, and the plan might change, right? Like, it's not
Okay.
like we get let you decide the plan. But what I'm trying to say is, right, every time she does something like that, she creates a hypothetical for him,
Mm.
right? So she creates an alternative answer. It's like, no, you don't create falsehoods, right? If you
Mm.
have a purpose, impose your purpose. And like, it's not only towards him, it's also towards me, right? It's like, if we're going outside, it's like, just say we're going outside in 10 minutes. Like, why are you
Mhm.
saying, like, shall we go outside in 10 minutes? Like, no. like you want me to be ready? Just tell me you need me to be ready. If I don't want
Mm.
to be ready, you will know, right? You will find out. But that's the fear, right? It's the fear of rejection, right? So
Mm.
if you ask the open question, you don't speak from authority.
You give it space to exist then.
Well, no, if you don't speak from authority, your authority cannot be denied, right? So if you never
You
assert
mean the
authority,
other way. If you speak from authority, your authority can't be denied.
no,
Whereas
if
if
you speak from authority, authority can be denied.
okay.
Because if you say do this and I say no, you're
Mm.
screwed. Because now you're in conflict,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
So if you
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. I understand now. I understand now. Yeah.
and
But when you're asking the question, then you're creating room for yourself to not be an authority, and you lose your place of authority from the
right,
get.
and right, for the
Mhm.
other, you're now creating a non-existent space, right? Because
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah,
purpose hasn't changed, right? Like the purpose already is.
yeah.
So you're not
I'm
true to your purpose either,
I'm
right?
thinking of it in terms of dating and relationships right now. Like you're more
Uh-oh.
assertive in a relationship. It's not like you're more assertive, but like I'm personally finding it more comfortable that when I'm leading, not just relationship. Okay, let's say leadership. Let's say leadership. I'm finding it more honorable as a leader to say, guys, let's do XYZ, please.
Yeah.
Not shall we do this, shall we? No, guys, we're doing this, please. Like
Yes.
I've caught myself doing it and I feel comfortable. I don't know if it's had good fruit yet, but I feel a lot more comfortable when I
Yeah.
decide we're doing this and I tell people, let's do this, please.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because people don't want to decide, right? And
Yes.
it's really
Surprisingly, I was surprised about this because
yes.
I had this
But
situation.
then they're all saying, I want to have freedom, I want to have freedom, I want to have
Yeah.
freedom. And then they
Yes.
never want to decide. right?
Exactly.
They never want
Exactly.
to take a position of authority because then they're imposing upon others' freedom. It's like it's just insanity, right?
Oh
But
God. Oh God.
but the issue is, right? Like, how do you speak from authority,
Yeah. You
right?
need to have a
Like,
purpose
two,
first.
well, there's two ways, right?
Mm.
You can have arrogance, right? Or you can be grounded in a purpose, right? Like in a true purpose. And so, this is the issue, right? People cannot distinguish arrogance from a true purpose,
Yes.
right? Like, what's a bad boy? Like, a bad
An
boy is someone who
arrogant
seems
person who looks
purposeful.
like he's purposeful. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I know what you mean.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, all the women are attracted to a bad boy. No, they're
Yeah.
not attracted to a bad boy. They're attracted to someone who's purposeful because they don't have purposeful men in their lives,
Yes. Yes. Fully agree. Fully agree with that.
right? And it's like, well, how can you be purposeful? Well, it's like, okay, now you need to ground yourself in something else, right? So, like, what are people doing? Well, I'm going to ground myself in science.
Hmm.
You just see
Hmm.
all these nerds. They're just like, oh, look at me. I know this. Woman, like, accept me because I know shit. Because I can tell you what to do because science told me to tell you.
That was literally what my friend was complaining about yesterday. That same exact thing. That he cannot let go of what he knows because it's the only thing that gives him confidence and self worth.
Yeah, and it's true. And that's the meaning crisis, right?
Yeah.
You can't
Yeah.
be meaningful like that way. It's like how are you going to provide for a woman when you're just like a copy pasta from, like, I was having an argument with my dad and I said, like, evolution is not a real science, and he's like, yes, because, and then he's a list of historical whatever, right? I was like, dude, Darwin said that a species is not a valid category.
Hmm.
Like, Darwin said it. like like why do we even have the argument if it's not a valid category, right? It's not real.
Hmm.
Like, you want to do science on not real things? I mean, you can do it, right? You can do many things, and I don't know how much money went into that, right? But it's not real. It's something else, right? I don't think it's good. Just saying. Like, I got into this whole thing about, I think science is just straight up evil at this point,
Hmm.
right? The ancient Greeks had it correct. You have philosophy, and then you have natural philosophy.
Hmm.
Natural philosophy is correct science. Anything else is just nonsense.
Can you give a concrete distinction between concrete science and nonsense? Go
Well,
ahead, go ahead, and
what
then
is a scientific method?
so you
Scientific method, like, I'm going to butcher this and everybody's going to laugh at me, right? But scientific method is you have an observation, right? You
Mhm.
create a hypothesis about the observation, right? Then you create an experiment by which you can
Mhm.
test the hypothesis, right?
Yeah.
And then when you have a result, you can build a theory around the results, right? That would have, like, and I think the correct way to say it is that you want to find lawful behavior in nature,
Mhm.
right? So if you can isolate aspects in nature, right, and prove regularity in these aspects, then you can infer a causal relationship through the means of certain laws, and that is, I think, correct science, right? If we start using categories that aren't real, right? If we're referencing things in the world that aren't real, like a population, like, what is
Mm.
a population,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? Like what is a nation? Well, a nation is a people that is bound by a spirit, right? So the source of identity is the spirit.
Mm.
Like, how did we start defining nations? As territories.
Right. Right. Right.
Like, a nation
Right.
is not a
Right.
territory.
Right. Mm.
Like, why do you
Mm.
think we get wars?
Because
Because
they're
nations
illusions.
want to be united.
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
that's, well, there's other reasons, right? But that's the best reason, right? Like why did Russia invade Ukraine, right? Because they felt fellowship with
Mm.
these people, right? They thought, no, they are Russian. They speak our language. They have our culture, right? They should be part of our nation. And instead, they get treated as second class citizens in Ukraine. That
Yeah.
is a justification for war. I was like, yeah, like I don't think there's a better justification for war. It's like this is a positive one, right? It's like our people needs to be saved from the bad people. It's like, yeah, that's a pretty good justification for war. Now, like, do I know what the Russian nation is, what the Russian people is? No. Do the
Mm.
Russians know that? Well, they probably know it better than I do, but
Hmm.
right, you can argue about it and you can have endless discussions, right? But at the end, at a certain point, that is decided by the willingness to fight for other people, right? Like
Mm.
it's to believe in them,
Hmm.
right? Because like how are you a people? Like that's a spiritual thing, right? Like
Mm.
that's a thing like what is a bond? Well, a bond is something that ties you to someone in as far as you will be are willing to take action.
Yeah.
Right. So because if you're not willing to, then the bond isn't real, right? Or
Mm.
if it was real, it is severed, right?
Mm.
Which I don't think it was real in the first place, right? If it just is severed, like it was a false bond because it
Hmm.
couldn't hold the tension that was put on
Yeah.
it. So yeah, we're straying a little bit from hope here,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
but like I think it's important to see, right? Like the thing that unifies, right? Like how do we assign categories, right? Like what is real and what is not, right? Like so this is maybe the way that it connects to hope, right? It's like you need to have true categories,
Yeah.
right? Because if you take an arbitrary category like a population, right? Then there's nothing that actually unifies them, right? And so like how does science, whatever they call science now, make a population? Oh, skin color. Oh,
Hmm.
economic
Hmm.
class.
Hmm.
Oh,
Hmm. Hmm.
whatever, right? Like
Arbitrary categories. That's what you
right.
mean. Arbitrary. I need to be honest. I need to think about this a little bit because I've been more involved in this, and I agree with you. There's something fucked up, and it has to do with
Yeah.
categories. Definitely, definitely something fucked up, and then it has to do with the categories.
Well,
Sure.
but the way that we got into this, right? That's the important part is you talked about your friend,
Hmm.
right? And he needed to hold on
Hmm.
to the things that he knew.
Yeah,
Well, what are the things that we are holding on to,
the things that we know, worldviews.
right? Which is the categories that we have self-identified
Yes,
with,
the categories we've identified. Yeah.
which are false,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? Or in as much as they are true, they're not true in the way that they are used.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sure, sure, sure. Mm. So the way I see hope in this situation, like I want to connect it to science a little bit because I think it can be very beneficial for at least those struggling with a PhD, because PhDs, this is one of the things what PhDs struggle with is exactly this: where is the hope? What am I doing? The problem with a lot of academia, and I'm the first person who fell into this. Like I'm the person that's one of the reasons why my PhD took so long, and it's only started working out when I started having proper hope. But the point is, um, a PhD is supposed to be an open question. It's supposed research is supposed to be you're asking a question and you're discovering, and then you say, okay, this is what turned out. I'm asking the question: does this chemical have this effect? And then you make these experiments, and it turns out, okay, it does not have this effect. Okay, great. This chemical does not have this effect, or I think this chemical does not have this effect for X, Y, and Z reason, and that's it. That's your PhD thesis. But The problem is that I see more and more people trying to force a result out of their topics. It's like, no, it has to work. Like, I saw this with one of my colleagues that no, 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 it's not a good PhD thesis if it doesn't have an impact. It's not a good PhD thesis if it doesn't create something new. It's like, really?
Well, that's actually true, by the way.
Well, it has to create an avenue. It has to create a dent. It has to open up a question. But
No,
what
no, like you're
what's your
missing
take on
one
this?
part. Like science can be useless. You're presupposing that science is useful. Like it's not.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yes, 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 yes. It can be basic science. It can just be basic science.
Yeah. It's like if I put uh, a rock in my yard, is that
Mm,
useful? No. Like if I want to make a road,
mm,
yes, it is useful.
hmm.
But the road gives my rock purpose.
That's a good one. Science can be useless. That's actually a very good point.
Right. And all these people, they just know that they're fucking waste of time and money.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like they're completely useless. Right? Like
I feel like we're being too abstract. We're treading on very dangerous ground here. Like we need to talk about what is useless science here. What do you mean by
everything.
useless science? Be more solid. Be more solid, please.
No, I'm legit saying everything.
Everything in science is useless.
Yes, everything is science is useless unless it is redeemed.
Oh,
Like no.
okay. Now we're getting somewhere. Now we're getting somewhere. Yes, yes. So one of the things I struggled with in the PhD is actually trying to find out why I'm doing my PhD. Like, I kept one approach in science is one thing. Let's see
Right,
what you
but
think.
hold on. Like you getting a piece of paper, right,
Hmm.
and getting a job, right? That's useful for you.
Hmm.
That's not useful for science.
Fully agree.
Okay, so whatever you do under science, right, that is unrelated to the benefit to you as a person,
Yes, that's true.
right?
You need to
So,
be
so if
selfless.
we go back to the justification of science as such, right, it has to serve a different purpose than
Yes,
than the scientist.
yes. I agree with that fully. Agree with that fully. This is what I'm saying. That one thing which I disagreed with many people is that the way they write papers is that they get their results first, then they write their paper's introduction, they contextualize the results, and then they publish the paper, which is
Hmm.
fine. That gives you more productivity. But I found this
I don't
extremely
think that's
annoying.
fine, but okay.
I don't think that's fine at all as well. And I argued with many people on this that you start with a purpose. You start with the reason why you're doing your science.
Hmm.
That's the introduction. That's the context. We have this problem. We're trying to tackle this problem. And that's why we need to do these experiments. Then you write your results. I
Hmm.
found this. I found that. It serves the purpose, this, and way. This way. This was
Hmm.
something that I really struggled with. That the purpose was undefined. We were going
Yeah.
emergence, bottom up.
Yes, but that is what science is, dude. That's the problem. Like I think these people are correct
Hmm. And that's why you
because
think science is evil. This is why you're saying
yes,
science is evil because it's just messing around and hoping something
right.
comes up.
And let's just go like take your situation, right?
Okay.
It's like okay, like you're trying to do something purposeful. How do you know it's purposeful?
Well, it needs to serve something. If it
Right.
serves
Well,
something,
why
fine.
is that a good thing?
It's making somebody else's life better.
Maybe.
But it.
But let's just say, right? It's like
Hmm.
okay, you have this professor, right?
Hmm.
This professor is I don't know, like dissecting monkeys, right? And you're like, okay, I'm gonna dissect the monkey's pinky, right?
Hmm.
Because dissecting the monkey's pinky is serving the purpose of assisting my professor dissecting monkeys,
Okay.
right? That's a true
Mm.
purpose. Like But what if the professor is evil?
Yeah, it's not a good purpose. That this is
Right,
how.
but it's scientifically a good purpose, though.
No, no. Well,
It's
in
serving
no, no, no,
something.
no, no, no,
It is
no.
serving something. It's serving science.
Right. It's serving science for its own sake.
But that okay. Let's go back.
I
How do
think
you know
we
what you're
yeah,
researching is serving a purpose?
yeah. That's well. There you have the struggle. There you have the struggle of my PhD in a certain a single line. How do I know that my study is serving a purpose?
Yeah, so you don't just say that,
Yeah,
right? You
absolutely. Yeah,
don't.
yeah.
Okay,
I
so
don't.
then
Fully agree
we
that
go
I don't.
back.
Yeah.
We go back to science,
Mhm.
right? So if you cannot discern whether what you're doing is purposeful or not, it's not purposeful, right?
That's true.
Yeah, there.
If it's purposeful, it's by mistake or by the grace of God.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
like the purpose would have been bestowed from above, right? Like like that's why I say, right? If the professor is dissecting a monkey and you're participating in the project of dissecting a monkey, that is purposeful.
Mhm. Mhm.
That is the purpose of science. So you're standing on the shoulders of giants. You're not the giant,
Mm.
but you
So,
can't
so
you can't judge the giants that you're standing on. That's the issue.
the thing is, I insist to call this modern science, but not science itself, because my
Okay. Like I'd agree with you,
yeah.
right? But then we're back to natural philosophy, right?
Then okay, fine. Natural philosophy, not natural love of wisdom. Um, if you want to call it a different name, that's fine. Uh, if you want to distinguish it from that,
No,
then I am with you on that.
but like I call it that name because it's grounded, right?
Yeah.
And that's how it was in the past, right? Like a philosophy was under theology,
Yes. It
right?
was nested in religion. Yeah, it
Right?
has to be nested. Anyway, there's something I say. There's something I think about. I haven't said it before, but what this natural philosophy that we're talking about, it evolved under conditions. It evolved to serve a purpose. It didn't come up in vacuum.
Right?
It means there's a way in which it is good and a way in which it is not good.
Well,
And if you lose track of
I would say this was discovered,
yeah, it was discovered. Absolutely, fully
right?
agree. It
So
was
it didn't
discovered.
evolve, right?
Yeah.
There was a pre-existing purpose in
Yes.
the creation.
Yes. It it was discovered, and that meant that it is good in a way, and there are ways in which it can be not good, and that means it is nested under something else, and that if it's not, if it's dissected from that context, it will die. It will die, and then
No, it won't
you get
die. That's the issue
hmm?
because we
ah
have decided that
to
science is
keep it
good
alive. We have
and we
decided to keep it
spend a
alive.
lot of money, which
Hmm.
equals societal resources, into sustaining the freak, whatever is science, and it shouldn't exist, right? If we go with a scientific view, right, we're not allowing evolution to take place in science.
Unless you redeem it.
No, we're not allowing evolution to take place. There's no natural selection in science because what is driven, right? What is true in science is
Mhm.
driven by publications, by like it's basically a beauty
Yes,
contest.
I just had the
Like
same thought.
it's a
I just had the
popularity.
same thought as capitalism. Capitalism. Yeah, yeah. I just had the same thought right now as you. Like I was tending to disagree, but now I guess
No, it's
it's what's
worse.
happening.
No, it's not capitalism. It's worse than capitalism because
It's insane.
capitalism is grounded in actual needs of consumers. Science
Hmm.
isn't.
Hmm.
Science is creating its own need.
That's true. Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
it's
That's
way
terrifying, and
worse.
that is terrifying, and that is
Yes,
terrifying because
it
you're
is a
trying to
religion.
create. Yeah, uh, the point is creating its own
No,
needs.
it is worship. What is the continuous dedication of societal resources towards a project and a purpose? That's a
Worship,
religion.
worship.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's worship, right?
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I'm with you on the worship thing. Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Well, what do you worship? That which is your God, right?
Mm.
Like you worship the thing that gives you purpose. You worship the thing that gives you life.
But that's such a thing to put as a religion. That's a terrible thing to put as a religion if it's not
Yes,
grounded, because you're
it's
you're you're
satanic.
basically creating your own plane crash. You're setting
Y-
yourself up for failure in the end when it's like
Yes.
that, because you're not grounding yourself in the proper values, and you don't have proper hope. To take it back
And
to hope.
yes, exactly. I wanted to take it back to hope too, right? So where's the hope? The hope is in the self-determination through our agency by means of science. That's where the hope is,
Hmm.
right? And so now we get, oh, you get to define your identity, right? And I was just looking back and I'm like, it started with Darwin saying this is a category,
Mm.
right? But it's not really a category, but it is a category. You have Einstein, relativity. It's like, oh, this is a place, but it's actually not a place, right? We can also go to Descartes, right? This is a place. We can discern a place. It's like,
Mm. Hmm.
do places exist?
Hmm.
No, they're a way of map, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
we start confusing the map
for the reality.
for the reality because it allows us certain things, right? So we start worshiping the map. Like we have unless we have something else that is more purposeful that says no, you have to submit, you have to bow down before the throne.
Yeah,
And there's no bowing.
there's no bowing. It's good to know someone agrees with me on this. It's good to know that my struggling was somehow justified in a certain way.
Yeah, but like no,
No,
because it was me.
it's
It
not
was
justified, but
meaningless,
yeah,
right?
it was
Like
meaningless. Yeah, the
right
struggle
because
was meaningless until I found God in a certain way. But that's a different story, right?
yeah, but okay. So now we can go back
Hmm.
to true hope, right?
Yeah,
So true hope would have saved you from going through that path,
I agree. I agree with
right?
this.
So that's
It was calling on me. I can tell you that,
right.
because it would
Be-
have. I was terrified to take the decision because it would have meant leaving into the unknown.
you know what I did, right?
Yeah, I know what you did.
I did leave into the
You
unknown,
didn't. You did leave into the
and
unknown.
and it was a really costly decision.
Yeah, it is a costly
Really,
decision. I agree that it's a costly decision. Yeah.
like I lived the consequences of jumping without a safety net. Well, I still had some sort of safety net, but that was a material one, not a spiritual one.
Mm.
But which also, right, talking about rock bottom might have been a bad thing. It's a different conversation.
Mm. It needs to be done carefully. That's for sure. It needs to be done very like for me in my case in the case of the PhD, leaving would didn't have to mean that I would have had to leave the position. It could have meant that I had to argue more for changing my topic, or it would have meant that I had to explore a little bit more.
Yeah, but like I said, right, how do you know whether your topic is meaningful, right?
Then this is
And,
where.
but what I'm trying to say is,
Hmm?
in order to make that rebirth, right, the resurrection into into the proper purpose, you would have needed more than just to change your topic, way more, because you needed to change yourself
Fully
in
agree.
order.
Fully
And
agree.
and so like yeah, that was not something that was available to you in that
Yes.
moment. So
Yes. Fully agree with you. Fully agree that this is actually how I tell the story, that I was lacking the courage and the wisdom to take the right decision at that point. I was not the person to take that decision. That was not who I am. Like, in retrospect, what was needed was not just a change of decision, but rather a change of character, change of heart. That was
yeah,
what was required.
right.
It's
And
interesting. It's interesting when you said more. That this shows the materialistic mindset. When you
Mhm.
said more, I was only thinking that I should have known more, I should have had more, or something like that. But then you said no, you just needed a change of characters. Like that's all I needed. It was like, no, wait, this is actually a lot. This is actually richness.
Right.
It's a really valuable kind of richness.
Right. And then, right, if you accept that, right, it's like, okay, the big problem isn't in the materiality.
Yeah,
The big problem is in the spirit.
it's in the spirit,
And
absolutely.
then, right, it's like, okay, how does the right decision look like? Well, the
Mhm.
right decision is you have to make right with God first.
Yeah,
So you just abandon whatever you're doing and you bow down before God. That's
yeah,
the right answer,
yes, yeah.
which sucks, right? And maybe you don't have to abandon everything, right? But like the
You just
problem
have
is
to
like,
let it go for a bit, and that's what I wanted to do for some time.
well, no, but letting things go for a bit is abandoning them, right? Like it just means that you can pick them back up later
Yeah,
if they're
that's
still
true.
there, right?
That's
But
true.
like
That's true.
if you don't abandon them in the sense of that you're willing,
Yeah, yeah.
then you like when I went to India, this is like that was bothering so much, right? I felt like I was cheating because I
Hmm.
had a home to return to. Like I really intensely felt that. It's like what I'm doing isn't real. It doesn't matter.
Hmm.
I'm just pretending to be in India because I have a home.
Hmm.
It's different when you get shipwrecked. Well, even if you get shipwrecked, right? There's always the hope that you can return home,
Mm,
right? So I had to deal with the hope in the immediate, right? Like how do I deal with me being here?
mm,
But I also had this other thing that was not connected to being there,
mm,
which is actually what religion is, right? Because like religion is not connected to being here on earth. No, I have a
mm.
home
In heaven.
under God.
Mhm.
But it's interesting, right? These things, like
Yeah.
I saw them and I didn't know what they meant.
Mm,
But I knew that they were huge problems,
mm. You feel it in your gut sometimes that there's something off. You just can put your finger on it where the off is to begin with.
right? And like I knew I had to abandon everything. Like I did it, and I
I,
I
I
didn't land
honestly
at the
felt
right
the same
place.
way. I honestly felt the same way. I honestly felt that I had to abandon everything. The one of the most one of the most reliable things that motivated me was the quest for God. It's like even if things went to shit, I still have my quest for God that's keeping me going. I This is a legitimate love of mine. I want to find God in my life, and that's
Mhm.
what, like, even if things go to shit, I can trust that this will still lead me to God somehow, and that's why everything. That's how everything was repurposed, was redeemed, so to speak, because I knew this was knew that this was good.
So here's I'm just gonna put pat myself on the back, right? So
Okay.
here's two ways in which my faith was bigger, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Like I did it,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I
I agree
didn't
with you.
have God.
Yeah, yeah.
It just
You
let the
did it.
second one sink in.
You just did it. Yeah.
Yes, I didn't have God, man,
Mhm.
and I did it.
Must have been terrifying for you.
Yeah, it was the end of my life, like actually.
Yeah.
And what I got back was sustaining, persisting. That's what I got
Hmm.
back, literally.
Survival.
Yeah, not even right, because I got materially provided for by the government. Like I wasn't
Mm.
surviving. I was just being.
Hmm.
Like obviously I had to do little things for my survival, right? But it wasn't. It wasn't that my life like I was dumped in the jungle and I needed to get my food and I needed to make sure that I had a shelter above my head because I'll freeze in the rain. Like that wasn't it,
Hmm.
right? So I had this really unnatural situation, right,
Hmm.
where I'm spiritually dead,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm physically almost dead,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And no hope.
That's terrifying. That's really terrifying. It's the grace of God would have found you, must have found you there for you to find your way back.
Yeah, well, like where I ended up now, and it's like, and I still suck at believing, but this is helping, right? Because it's
Mm.
like that gratitude is so hard for me,
Yeah.
and not because I'm out of like living out of spite or anything, right?
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
Like I don't have any resentment about what happened to me or whatever. It's just like, yeah, it's just hard to be appreciated. It's just hard.
Hard to be appreciated. Are you talking
Appreciative, right?
appreciative? Yes, fully agree. Yeah, it's hard to be appreciative. Yes, that's true. This is one of the reasons I like having these conversations. They bring me back somehow. Like just
Yeah,
tossing and turning, it gets you back there somehow.
right. And that has to do with being alive, right? So this fear of God is also in some way the fuel,
Hmm.
right? Is the fuel that keeps you striving, and because I like how I'm going to do a fast, right? Eating one bowl of rice every day for 3 weeks, and I hope I can finish it by the grace of God. But um, like, why? Why do I do that? Right?
Hmm.
Well, because I got fat. Why did I get fat? Because I didn't have enough reason not to get fat.
Mm, mm,
It's
mm,
like,
mm, mm, mm.
right? And I was like, how do I fix it? Well, I impose a somewhat insane arbitrary standard of fasting and m- set a purpose, right? Like, okay, I need to do this, right?
Yeah.
And then I do it, right?
Mhm.
But like, that's not the right way to do it.
Yeah.
Like, the right way to do it is to live right with God, right? And have things in your life, right, that pull in such a manner that you don't drift off in these excesses. And that's also connected to hope, right? It's
Mm,
like where does your attention go? Where does your energy go? Like what what purpose is driving you? And like I know, right? Like I've been like God has been revealing himself to me more and more and more and more, right? And it's like when I feel confident, I walk in the truth. I also feel confident that I can speak the truth.
mm,
If I can speak the truth, I can live purposely, right?
mm,
So if I get out of this conversation and I go out, it's like, man, I just said a bunch of things. I was like, that was pretty good,
mhm,
right? Like that was some truth that needed to be said
mhm, mhm.
because without it, we live in a worse world,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
and that's where purpose comes from for me, at least.
You just said a really important statement right now. Let me digest it a little bit. It's interesting. Purpose. I just had a. You just revealed something big right now for me. Your sense of purpose comes from revealing profound truths that everybody needs to know. That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's really powerful.
It is
Also,
powerful. Powerful, yeah.
big burden.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. That it's a big burden. Fully agree. In your
I
case,
have
yeah.
this.
Hmm?
Go ahead.
I was saying you kind of lack the distractions that stop you from doing that also, which is a blessing, I think.
In some ways, yes.
Yeah.
So I have this friend, and he's he's preaching on the streets,
Mm.
right? And he's like, well, you have to just be in the Word. And he spends like 2 hours every morning in the Bible. And it's like I just don't have the energy to do that, right? And he's like, well, like this is my way. And I'm like, yeah, but that's right. To do what you do, right? To speak the word of God to people on the street, people that you don't know, right? And what he said was like that blew my mind. He said, my job is to stand there, and he said without shame, but I'm changing it with conviction,
Mm.
that I speak the words boldly, boldly. I just speak it,
Mhm.
and people need to see that.
Mm.
And I'm like, he's right. Like people haven't seen people believing,
Mhm.
right? Like I went out with him, and the cops came, right? And the cop said to him, why don't you like? Is this your hobby, right? And he said, you think I want to do this? You think I'm standing here for my own fun? And it's like he couldn't even conceive that people were in possession of the truth
Mm.
and that they wanted to propagate that to others.
Mm.
Like it wasn't even on his radar. And so like people don't know what conviction is.
Mm.
Like what happened to all the apostles? They got arrested, put in front of kings, judges, whatever. They even got killed for their beliefs.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like what is
Mhm.
that?
To die for it. What is this thing that you're so willing to do it that you're willing to die and lose
Right.
everything for it? Yeah.
People because like I've just been thinking, right? It's like what happened, right? Well that cop came up to me, right? So I asked him, okay, is there something wrong, sir? Right? He asked me,
Mhm.
you tell me. I'm like, no. Can I help you, sir? He was dismissive, and I'm like, are you interested in anything?
Mhm.
Right? And then he said, stop speaking. I asked the questions.
Mhm.
Let me ask the questions, right? And I was like, okay, I'll be silent. But you see, I don't even know what I was trying to convey, but oh yeah, I was trying to convey is like, what does he do, right? Because he comes on his motorcycle, right? He puts up his helmet, he gets off, he walks to me, right? He stands next to me, not saying anything, right? Then he messes with me with all of these words that he's using, right? Trying to throw me off. Then, before he goes to my friend, he puts on a mask. He masks himself, right? So, what is this? This is intimidation,
Mm.
right? This is the imposition of a reality. I'm the authority.
Mm.
You're supposed to be scared. If I speak, obey.
Mhm.
What happened? We laughed him off.
Mhm.
We didn't give no shit, right? So you see, we're supposed to play in his game, and
Mm.
we turned the tables on him.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
And then he didn't know what to do. And that's truth,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? That's witnessing your conviction. It's like, dude, like, who are you?
We are in the kingdom of
And
God, and so
right,
are you.
well, he's not, but who is he to speak to me?
Mm.
There's only one authority that I listen to,
Mhm.
and that's not him,
Mhm.
unless he's carrying the name, right? If he was carrying the name, I would have bowed down,
Mm.
right? And so that's That's powers and principalities at work, right?
Mm.
Who's going to dictate reality, right? And he couldn't win, right? So what's left to him? Force,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? And that's what happens.
Violence. Mm.
That's what happens, right? To, to the apostles. They got the only answer that could do anything, and it didn't do anything
Mm.
because they got martyred, right? They lived. They ascended into the heavens and were a shining light that drew others in. And that is living in the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else is just asserting your own nonsense. And and you have to realize, right? Like this guy, right? Like there's two options, right? Like one is, oh, I don't care, right? But if you care, there's there's only one way that ends, right? Because if you have something important and the other one is not bowing, one of them is gonna win, right? Like it is as a, like truth always wins.
Truth always wins. The truth is defenseless.
It doesn't need defense
Mm-hmm.
because it wins.
Exactly.
It's like,
Doesn't need defense. That's what I meant.
and so to connect that back to hope, right? Like now that I speak of it, it's like, well, I should have been more grateful, right? Like because I wasn't grateful in that moment. I was like, oh
Mm.
my God, like here we go, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like no, and and what is it? The kingdom of God is for those who are persecuted in my sake or something, right? Like that there's the blessing in being persecuted, right? You speaking up, right, among the PhDs for the truth.
Mm.
You get persecuted. Everybody wants to prove you're wrong because if they don't prove you're wrong, they are wrong. So you have to be wrong. And that explains everything in the
Mm-hmm.
world. Everybody's being persecuted when they speak up because if they don't persecute, they're wrong. Why is Europe so hell bent on making Ukraine win? Because if Russia wins, they are wrong. It's that simple. And they can't be wrong because if they're wrong about Ukraine, they're wrong about Europe. And I can tell you, they're wrong about Europe. Yeah. But that's literally what's going on, man. Like it I don't think it's more difficult than that at all. I
I
think the
don't
world
have.
is
Yeah, I don't have the knowledge to judge
no,
about the Ukraine
it's
thing,
not
but
about
I can
knowledge.
see.
No,
Yeah.
it's not about knowledge, right? It's
Mhm.
about what spirit is driving.
Yeah, yeah, that's. I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. Like,
And
it's obvious in
when
Germany what spirit is driving.
yeah, like when you have the spirit will just make up a story,
Mm.
right? Just like that cop. Right? like like he just made it up along the way. It's like, oh,
Mm.
that's your hobby. Like, what do you know, right? Like, like, who are you to tell someone else what his hobby is and what is not his hobby? Like, that's insane.
Was the cop trying to stop him, or what was the reason that the cop was there to begin with? Like, why were there cops
I
involved to begin with?
I think the cop didn't even know what he was doing.
Okay.
I think the cop
Mm-hmm.
was surprised,
Mm-hmm.
right? He came in, he dealt with me. I was like, I don't know what to do with this guy, and he went to the other guy. Then he didn't know what to do with the other guy either. That's what
Okay.
happened.
Ping pong. Okay.
Yeah, but that's how people work, right? It's
Mm.
like he drives by. It's like, what's happening? Like he doesn't know.
This is very eye-opening. What you're talking about with people having the wrong hopes, it's extremely eye-opening because it's I've had an inkling of this. It's like, what are you? So the friend of mine came to me yesterday and was saying like, I was hoping that after I finished this PhD, that everything would be easy, everything would be smooth, everything would be safe. And I'm like, no, this is why I struggled because I knew it would not be the case. And I wonder, are people really that stupid?
Yes.
It's a bit absurd for me because that's kind of like there's this herd mentality going on. It's like everybody's doing it. It's like, okay, maybe I'm the one who's wrong here, but then again,
That's what I talked about with my dad, right? I told him, like, you're just subject to propaganda. Everybody is subject to propaganda, and it cannot be any way, any other way. Because what do you know?
Mhm,
What you get, you know the things that you're taught, right? What
mhm.
what do you get taught? Well,
Yes, yes, yes,
you
yes,
get
yes.
taught the system that you live in, right?
The thing is, you also see it with people that some part of them knows that these are false hopes, but for them to confront that is terrifying
Yeah, they can't
because they don't have an
because
alternative.
they have to die.
They have to die, and they would hit rock bottom if they die like that because they don't have the scaffolding. And my opinion is that
Mhm.
the scaffolding is religion. Like
Yep.
they need religion. Like
Yep.
I am lucky to have been raised in an Islamic environment. I'm lucky that I know what faith is. I know what faith is, but I've tasted these things before. I've been in sermons, I've fasted, I've prayed, and so on and so on and so on. I had scaffolding. But for someone who has never ever tasted that, I don't know what would happen. Like it has to be the grace of God in this case to understand that.
No, no, they die. Like, like,
That's how
why do you
people go
think
crazy and commit suicide eventually.
exactly?
That's why you get suicide so much because nobody has an alternative.
Right? Or they do different means of suicide, like alcohol,
Yeah, drug addictions.
gambling,
Yeah,
hookers, hookup culture, OnlyFans.
this is quite sad. Like
Yes,
I don't really feel the sadness, but like it's here cerebrally. I think this is pretty sad. It's,
yes, we're screwed, dude. Like,
yeah.
like if you see the world through my eyes, it's like
Hmm.
we're doomed. Like
Hmm.
we're like so deep. Like we're not gonna be able to get up straight anymore.
Hmm.
Like things need to break off.
Things need to crash. There needs to be a
Yeah.
flood.
No, it needs to be burning, dude.
Mm.
Flood is not enough.
Mm.
Like
Interesting.
like Israel needed to be conquered
Mm.
by the Babylonians,
Yeah.
and they needed to be scattered.
Hmm.
That's the pattern.
To be scattered,
Yes. And like,
blown
what
away
is it?
completely.
What does it mean to be scattered? Right. It also means to be purified. Because
Hmm.
right, if we go back to nation, right, what does it mean to be a united people? Right. If you're scattered,
Mm.
you can only reunite if you're called to reunite. When are
Yeah.
you going to be called to reunite? When you're bound to the identity. What is
Right.
the source of the identity? The people of God. So
Yes.
God is your identity,
Yeah. It's disruption.
right?
It's
And that's a
disrupting the false
purification
unity.
that was necessary
Yeah. Right. 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 Right.
because many warnings had been had.
Mm. Hmm.
You see the amount of warnings that we're having,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
There are some Muslim scholars that say that the wrath of God is starting to appear.
Yeah,
Well, it technically is there, but
yeah,
not many are able to see it, right?
exactly. But this is the start. Like those
Yeah,
scholars are right. It's
yeah,
the start,
yeah. It is the start of the wrath of God. It's
yeah,
true.
which is not a good thing.
No, 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 no.
But talking about tragic, right? That's the
Yeah.
answer.
Mm.
That's the answer of God. It's not a nice answer,
Hmm.
right? And so the scattering allowed for healing,
Hmm.
right? And it is discerning of truth.
Yeah.
Like it's all these processes, right? Like it's purification. Like purification only happens in certain manners, right?
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
pattern of hitting rock bottom, the
Yep.
pattern of
Hell.
being washed away, or the pattern or being diffused, right? In other words, creating space or having everything else fall
Yeah.
off, right?
Yeah.
Die off.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, what is the hope, right?
Hmm.
Like I've been struggling with my church actually.
Hmm.
So what's going on in the church? Well, there's uh, a positive preaching, right? It's like if you end up on the cross, is that a positive message?
Mm.
Not really, right? Do you need to be prepared to end up on the cross to be a good Christian? Yes.
Supposedly you should.
Not so, that is the definition, right?
Mm.
Like if you are in the Spirit, the Holy Spirit that carried Christ, that will be your portion, right? Like that will be your end if God calls you to that end. And so, in order to be a proper Christian, you need to prepare for that end, and then you can fully live.
Hmm.
And if you don't prepare for that end, you can't fully live. Right? Going back to owing your life to God, literally.
You need to be devoted fully to God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you can participate fully.
Yeah.
Else you serve two masters.
Hmm.
So that's it, right? Like it's simple. It's like, okay,
Hmm.
like I'm not there. Well, maybe I am there. Like who knows what comes out when that
Mm.
situation arises. Like I wouldn't be surprised if I am there, right? But I'm not going to claim it, right? But who else, right? And if you're not there, right, fine. Like I'm not going to judge you or whatever, right? But at least try to get there.
Yeah.
Because if you're
Yeah.
not trying to get there,
Then you
then
have a
why?
problem.
Yeah,
Then you have a problem. Then you have a problem. Yeah.
and that's not good news,
Hmm.
right? Like in the material sense, that's not good news. Like that's the worst news,
Mm.
right? It's like, well, how do you get there? Well, you need to value something higher
Yeah.
than your earthly existence, which is
Yep.
heaven.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
like good luck.
Yep. Yep.
Good luck.
Yep.
And not because of it heaven as a reward,
Yeah. 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 Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
God
Absolutely.
is worthy.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the reason.
That's the challenging part, though. Like I have to tell you, it's a very
No,
challenging
that
thing to do. And
what do you mean? You
the
think doing it for a reward is easier?
for most people, yeah,
Well, then they don't believe.
that's
That's
the
a
thing.
trade. Like
I
that's a
I
trade.
I I am with you. They are limited. Then they're limited. Then
No,
they are
that's not
limited.
belief, dude. Like
I
literally,
fully
that's not
agree.
belief.
Fully
Like,
agree that it's not belief and it's still but the thing is, trust that God's love and compassion reaches these people, and it reaches them by giving them ways they can understand. And the ways they can understand sometimes need to be through reward and punishment. It reaches all the way down to the cave.
no, no. Like we started with the light
Like
is always there.
yeah, for sure, the light is always
Yeah,
there,
but
but
you're not gonna see the light because of punishment.
well, that's what the scattering is, the purification.
No, purification is not punishment.
It appears as punishment.
Like you understand, right? Person. pure gets to live. Person not pure.
Ah, I see. I see. So punishment is complete casting out of the pure from the impure.
No, no. This is no, no. You're mixing skills, right? We're talking
Mm.
about Israel,
Okay.
right? Israel is a field,
Yeah.
right? The field has grown up,
Mm.
right? Now the weeds get separated from the chaff, right?
Mm.
So we take the good stuff. The good stuff gets to go into the storehouse. The rest gets burned. Like this is
Mhm.
literally a parable that Jesus told.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I know. I've heard the
Yeah,
parable before. So
that
what I'm hearing you say, what I'm hearing you say is that it's one or zero. You're either alive or you're dead.
yes.
Okay. And so
You
if you
you're
are
trying
someone,
to you're trying to do well if they get spanked enough then they
no,
do
no,
the
no,
right
no, no,
act.
that's not what I'm trying to do. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm saying
It's
there's
really
shades of gray. I'm saying there's shades of gray.
no. There's no shades of gray.
You're saying
You're
basically that
you're either hot or cold. If you're lukewarm, you're spit out. Like
what you're
God
saying.
respects you more if you're cold. No, that's literally
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. So basically, what you're saying is that when somebody is stuck doing it for rewards, that person's dead.
but
What if,
if they
what
stop
if,
doing it because God is worthy. Yeah, like
what if they recognize that, okay, I'm doing it for reward, but I know I'm supposed to be doing it because God is worthy.
yeah, then you're still doing it for the wrong reason.
And even the aspiration does not save them. That's what you're saying.
Yeah,
Okay. But here's again the thing. What if they're doing it out of faithfulness? Like they know
faithfulness to what?
faithfulness that they know there's a place where you're doing it because God is worthy. Like just like you've experienced gratitude before. You've been in places of gratitude before. And now you're not.
Yeah, but do you believe God is worthy or not?
Yeah, I do.
Well, then you believe God is worthy, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah. But that's my point. That was exactly my point. That was exactly my point. You believe God is worthy. You
yeah,
believe God is worthy. What you know you need a walking stick to walk that path. And that walking stick
yeah,
could
but
be the
is it
word
a
of God.
propositional belief or not? That's the question, right? If like, let's just say, no, you know God is worthy. That you need to know God is worthy.
Okay,
That's
then that's the difference I'm talking about. That's the difference I'm talking about. I'm talking about that. That's something I need to reflect upon before we have this discussion, because I think this is one of the places where
but you're a materialist, dude. Like most of your thoughts are privileging the material manifestation over the spirit. It's like no, God doesn't give a shit about your material manifestation.
can you say how I'm a materialist? How do you see me as a materialist?
Because every time that you frame something, you frame it from the material perspective. Like it's
Give me a
no more
solid
difficult.
example. Solid example. Maybe this is exactly what you're talking about. The fact that I'm asking for a solid example. Is this what you mean?
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, I
that
thought so.
is.
I thought this is what you want. Yeah. So it's the
Like,
particularization that I focus a lot on the
yeah, you
particularization.
like in the conversation you were like, wow, we need to concretize this example uh, into an
Okay.
example. I was like,
Okay.
what is he even talking about?
Okay. This is interesting. It's interesting that you're thinking about this. Mm.
It's like, why do you care that it's concretized in an example?
Because if it's not concretized, then I'm interpreting. Then I'm not where you are. But when you concretize it for me,
What?
if it's not concretized, then I start interpreting. My interpretation is my only
No,
option if you're not concretized.
concretization is interpretation.
Yeah, but I'm asking you to concretize it so that you bring it down in an appropriate way.
Yeah, but you know that if you concretize something, it's no longer the same.
Of course, wait,
What?
no, wait. No, no, it's not like that. So I can say something like,
So here, let me say, let me concretize a left turn, right?
"Hmm,
It's like
that's different. This is
no,
different.
it's not different.
It is different. It is
No, it's
different
not
because
different.
we're talking about different things. Let me make my point. Let me make my point. I'm I can say, Manuel, you should worship God, or Manuel, please, you should consider God as worthy. God is the only worthy being of love, being
Hmm.
loved. Okay,
Okay.
how do you do that?
How do we do what?
How do you reach this realization?
I don't even know what the realization is.
That's the point. See, exactly, exactly, and that's why I'm saying we.
You know that is bestowed by grace, right?
I agree with you, fully agree with you,
Okay,
but
then stop concretizing. like, like,
but
like, there's no grace in the particulars.
no,
Like,
no, 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 no. I can't make this argument right now. I I
because you
can't make
can't
this.
make the argument.
I can make the argument. I just need time. I can make the argument. I just need time, but not right now.
Can you deal with what I said? Because I don't think you can deal with what I said.
What is what you said? Which part of what you said?
I said that it is
Mhm.
bestowed by grace.
Oh yeah, I can deal with that for sure. I hope at
Okay,
least I can deal
then
with that.
then how are you gonna get something bestowed to you by grace?
You hope.
No, I don't think you need hope for grace.
What do you do then? Faith.
You need yeah you well you not even necessarily faith.
Mm.
You get things bestowed by grace by accepting them, right, and being
Mm.
open to them,
Hmm.
right. Well, what is going into the particular? Are you
What is
trying
going
to
on?
get are you trying to get a grasp on it?
I'm trying to understand what you're trying to say.
Are you trying to get a grasp on it?
I'm trying to meet you on the same plane. I'm
Can
not
you
trying to
can you
get a
answer
grasp on it.
my
No,
question?
I'm not trying to get a grasp on it. No, I'm
Well,
trying to meet you where you are.
no, you're
Trying
not
to
trying to
understand
meet
what
me
you're
where
saying.
I am because I'm not in the particular. Like, what are you talking about? That's ridiculous.
My You're not getting what I'm trying to communicate here. We're
No,
having two different
no.
conversations right
What you're saying is, let me drag you by your ass down to earth so that you can do the thing that I want you to do. That's what you're saying to me,
now. No, well, it's similar, but not so that you can do the thing that I want you to do, so that you can speak where I'm sitting. Because
which
if
is
I'm a
what you want me to
materialist,
do, right?
okay, yeah, sure, fine, it's what I want you to
Right,
do.
right. Let's do the dance here because then I can pretend that I understand what's happening up there. That's what you say.
So sometimes what happens when you speak, and I don't ask you to concretize,
Hmm.
I challenge myself to understand what you're talking about, and I end up understanding you.
Okay, that sounds like a false.
Well, there you go. There you go. Then what's my option in this case?
Like, what does that look like? Challenging me to understand what I'm talking about.
No, not challenging you.
Challenging
Not
yourself, sorry, whatever you
so like when you say things, I let them simmer, and then an
like. Hmm.
understanding just comes. It's bestowed upon me,
Right?
and then I talk to you. This is what it
Hmm?
means. This is what it looks like.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Okay.
Right? Like I'm looking with my mind's eye, right?
Mm,
And I'm seeing things, right? I'm like, oh, there's a part that's lighting up, right? Like I don't know for whatever reason, right? But it makes sense, right? and I
Okay.
can see that if I add it to the conversation,
Mm.
that it gets better. like I, like li- like when I say hope, right?
Hmm.
Like we've talked about hope for like I don't know how long, right?
Hmm.
Um, we've not even close to exhausted
Yeah,
hope, right?
absolutely.
So when you ask me to concretize hope, it's like what
No, 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 no. That's definitely
you
not
no, but
what I'm asking you to do.
you understand, right? Because
Yeah, that's definitely
we can
not.
just
Yeah, I
take
understand.
a
I understand.
subset of hope, right? We can take a subset of the subset, and we can take a subset of the subset, and then we can concretize that, like we could. It's like, but why?
I think I miscommunicated what I was trying to say here. This is getting us into a weird conversation
No, no,
on
but okay. Let's rephrase it into hope, right? Like, what are you hoping for in the conversation, or
I'm
what are you
hoping to
hoping for?
understand what you're trying to say and communicate with you. I'm hoping to commune with you.
Okay, but okay. So, what would that look like?
Now you're asking me to concretize, by the way. This is what I mean by concretize. What would that look like?
No,
What
no.
are you doing then?
I like no. I'm not trying to make you concretize.
Yeah.
I'm actually I don't know what you're saying.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do when I'm asking you to concretize. Like when I don't know what you're saying, I need a more specific example, a more specific articulation of what you're
Well,
trying.
like I know what I mean with commune, right?
Okay, what do you mean with commune?
I don't think when I say when I asked you to specify what you mean with commune, right? I want to know whether you're thinking of the same thing I'm thinking of, because I'm definitely thinking of something and it doesn't fit.
But that's
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 why
the
I'm
point.
asking.
That's my point. That's my point. Like when I'm asking to concretize, I'm doing exactly that. Am I
Right, but
thinking what
okay, but
he's
there's a
thinking?
distinction, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm, and this may be wrong of me, right? But I'm putting myself in a higher perspective than you,
Mm.
right? So when you say something that doesn't fit for me, I'm assuming that you're doing something wrong, right? So
Hmm.
when we turn it around, right, that's not the same dynamic. And I'm not clear what the proper dynamic would even be. So I can't think of it right now. So
Okay.
you understand? So that's why I'm asking, right? Like I don't know what that dynamic would even look like.
Mm. Mm.
Like what are you hoping for, right? Like because I know what I'm hoping for when I do
So
things.
what I'm hoping for is this. What's happening right now? Like we're actually trying to discover this. I don't know how to express this, man. I'm sorry. I just don't know what to say. I don't know how to express what I'm hoping for.
No, but like, can you just say it in a dumb way?
I'm hoping to meet you where you are and talk about the same thing that you're talking about and explore the same thing you're exploring. So when I'm asking you to concretize, whatever that means, I am asking for an exemplification of what you're saying
Hmm.
so that your understanding is not polluted by my understanding. This is what I'm asking.
Hmm.
It could go wrong. For example, you could say, when you said that science is bad, science is evil. The way I
Hmm.
understood it is that you think the discovery of laws, discovery of reality is wrong. That's how I understood it. But then you made the distinction between natural philosophy and science, and I understood what you mean by science. This is why I need you to concretize things sometimes. Because if you don't, then you're talking about one thing, I'm talking about another thing. And then there's no communion happening between us. We're not meeting each other.
Uh-huh.
We're not communicating. We're just I'm talking in my world, you're talking in your world, and we're not using the same world. We're not in the same world. Becoming,
Well,
yeah,
but this is interesting, right?
yeah,
Because I was actually going to say something similar and say that is actually a good thing and a
but we're not in the
necessary
same
thing.
world.
Yeah, because we're
Okay,
not the same person.
okay, mm,
Right? So what is hope is for me is not the same as what hope is for you,
mm-hmm.
right? So the reason why I'm in the abstract, right, is because in the abstract things are the same for both of us, right? In the concrete they're not because I'm not you.
But when you said science, I had to disagree with you. I had to tell you that science
Okay,
is not that.
okay,
That's not what science is.
sure. What like, is it good?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's very wrong.
not science. I'm not saying science is good. I'm saying disagreement. The disagreement. They're telling you that
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Yeah, but I asked is science good?
If used for a good purpose, yeah.
So no.
Science on its own, no. It's neither good nor bad.
Okay. So even the natural science is not good.
Neither good nor bad.
Oh, okay. I don't care. It's not
Hmm.
good, right?
Yeah.
So we should not touch it,
Okay.
right? That's the consequence, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which would make it bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we're touching it without purpose, right? Like that's, you understand,
Yeah, yeah, I understand.
right?
Becomes
So
idolatry.
even true for that's even true for natural science, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because like literally, it's a waste of time if we don't need it, right? Like it would
Mm-hmm.
be bad in that way, right? It
Yeah.
would just be a waste of resources
Yep.
because it's not adding anything,
Mm-hmm.
right? And like this is not that it's used for evil purposes or something. No, it's just
Yeah.
like pragmatically, right? It's like
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a waste of time. It's just
it 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 is
kind of what's
creating a
happening right now.
society.
Yeah.
It is creating a society that is misallocating its purpose. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
what science does, and that's why it's bad, right? Like it's inherent in science. Unless, right, you're calling for something, right? If you're calling for something, then that is the justification for science, which is actually usually a secular one, right? Like, because if we want to deal with a disease or whatever, that's
Mm.
actually a secular and not a religious incentive.
Okay. Mm.
But anyway, so
Anyway, yeah.
like I wanted to go back to to the hope of the conversation because I actually think that's really interesting, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this goes back into the checklist, right? Of well, I wanted to get these three things right.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like you have a checklist in your mind of what understanding means.
No, I don't think so.
uh, Subconsciously probably,
Maybe subconsciously. Maybe subconsciously I do. It's
right?
possible. Very
And
possible subconsciously.
yeah, but so because I don't have that purpose in the conversation,
Mm.
right? And so but there's an asymmetry, right, in you and me,
Mm-hmm.
right, and the role that we take, and sometimes we flip roles, right? Because if you're
Yeah.
talking about Islam, I have no clue, right?
Mm-hmm.
And other stuff as well. Um, but when you're talking about Islam, I just let you speak, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I'm curious. I'm like, what about this? Or
Mm-hmm.
is this the same as this? Or what? Huh? And so that's the way I connect to you, right? It's not. I don't care what's in your mind. I don't care what's in the Quran,
Mm-hmm.
right? I care. Is there a truth, right? Am I seeing that truth? Am I missing something? Are you missing something, right? That's what I care about. So So, and I think it goes back to the materialism. Like,
I'm not seeing the connection to the materialism of this.
well, the concretization is the dressing up in material. And so the way,
I think I have a different understanding of materialism than you do. This is
well,
why
what
I'm
is it?
not. Well, materialism is being only concerned about material goals, making money, taking care of your body. Apparently, I'm wrong. See, so
Well, what about implementation? Is that a material goal?
implementation,
Yeah,
implementation of what?
it doesn't matter.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Well, it is. What is implementation? Making material, right?
Yeah.
Materializing. That's
Okay.
implementation.
Yeah.
Is that materialism?
Yeah. That's
Right.
materialism. No.
Okay.
No.
So
No. 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 It depends. It
no.
depends on why you're implementing something.
Oh yeah. Why?
If you're implementing it for a good cause, for God, then it's not material anymore.
No, it's still materialism. God doesn't
Okay.
care about material.
Seems we have a different, completely different understanding of materialism, of
Yeah,
what materialism is.
that's why you're stuck in materialism.
Hmm.
Like you think you've escaped materialism by compartmentalizing it,
Could be very much, yeah.
right? And no,
Hmm.
like materialism is just a pattern, right? Why you're
Hmm.
privileging the material manifestation of things,
Okay.
right? So if you understand the world through the fruits, right, through the consequences, that's materialism,
All right. Okay.
right? It doesn't matter whether you're a capitalist or
Yeah. Yeah.
like it doesn't matter,
Yeah. I think I understand what you mean. So in that case, definitely, I'm stuck there. No doubt. So I had
right?
this realization at one point that my fear of what will happen is dictating the way I see the world,
Hmm.
and that's the materialism part. Whereas
Yeah, kind of.
the spiritual would be what you value is dictating how you see the world, and that would be the spiritual part.
Right,
And that ways, I'm with you. Yeah, I am a materialist in that sense, which is
right.
dangerous.
Well, it's really dangerous. And so now we can go back, right? So why
Yeah.
do you want to concretize, right?
Hmm.
Like what I see in you when you want to concretize is you don't have faith in the the ideas or whatever, right? These virtues to be self-explanatory, and you're relying upon me to explain them.
Ah, okay. So I just had this idea that even if you fall short in explaining them, like there is something that will appear in the conversation, and it does not need to be concretized. It'll just appear and unfold with time. That
No,
opens up.
it's even worse
Mhm.
because if you concretize it, you
Squeeze
constrain it.
it. You
Yeah,
strain it. You constrain it. Okay.
you make it concrete, right? You solidify it, which takes you away from the source that brings it into being. And so when I'm
This is a
talking
really
about the
interesting
source,
way of looking at things. Yeah.
I can't
You,
concretize, and I
I
shouldn't,
understand.
because
I
that
understand what you mean. Yeah. I know what you mean now. I know
and
what you
that
mean now.
doesn't mean that we can't talk about the concrete, right?
Yeah.
Because we can talk about, but then we're not talking about. Then we're talking about a witness, right?
Mm.
Like I witnessed that thing from heaven having an effect on earth.
But then in this case, we have radically different ways of seeing things, and this is one of the reasons why
Yes,
there's a lot of miscommunication between us.
that's why you're a materialist. That's what I'm
I
saying.
understand that. I understand that. I get that. I get that.
Yeah. And if you're a materialist, how
Mhm.
can you see heaven? No, you can't.
I agree.
Right? So it's like, okay, like and it's like when I'm talking to you, every time you're like, well, let's just drag this down to earth. It's like, yeah, but like, do you want to go to heaven? Right?
You're right to see the pattern that I constantly try to drag things down to earth, and at some point it got really exhausting, got really draining when I kept trying to do that. I'm with you on that.
Right. And so why do you drag it to earth? Because you want to grasp it, you want to take hold of it,
Yep.
and you,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you
that's
want
true.
to own it,
That's
but you
very
don't
true.
get you
And you
don't
don't get
get
to
to
own it.
own.
You don't get fully agree with you. I do try
So,
to do that. Yes, that's true.
yeah, that's why I'm not willing to go along.
To concretize.
Yeah,
Okay, I get it.
right. And so every time that you do something like that, right, and like you keep coming back to it, right? What if I just do the right form, right? I just practice the right form over and over and over and over again. It's like first of all, you can't even know the right form. You're just making an imitation of the form, right?
Hmm.
And secondly, it's like that's the form isn't on earth, right? Like it doesn't mean that you can't practice, right? Like I'm not against practice, right?
Hmm.
But the perspective from which you practice matters,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now I understand what you're trying to say. I understand what you're trying to say.
right? So I think this is an interesting thing because we can go to the what's it, Karate Kid, wax on, wax off, right? He was doing the form without practicing the form.
Mm.
You see, and that's a cool trick.
I don't know what I don't know this reference you're talking about. Karate Kid, you said?
Yeah.
I need to look it up. But I'll do it
Okay.
after
So
after
that's
the.
that's that's a well, it's karate in America, right? And this kid
Yeah.
gets trained in karate by painting the fence and waxing the car, right? So
Yeah.
he's doing these movements, right?
Yeah.
These so he's training his subconscious, right? His physical to do a certain expression, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And then later he learns because he doesn't know what he's doing, right? Like, and that's important that he doesn't know
Mm.
what he's doing.
Yeah.
Later he learns that that is block, block, block,
Yeah.
block, right? So that move now is in his muscle memory,
Yeah.
and then he can use that in his forms. That move, right? So that's a distinction, right? That's a good way of practice, right?
Hmm.
Because we need to shape our flesh in the heavenly image.
But this is what I mean when I'm saying practicing the form, doing the 5 prayers a day, for example, in Islam, shaping the flesh so that it meets the one in heaven. Maybe I'm expressing it the wrong way, but this is what I meant.
Yeah, but just when I keep saying that you're a materialist, I
Yeah.
don't trust you to practice the form,
Then I'm with you on that. I'm with you
right?
on that. Yeah. I'm with you on that.
But that's the issue, right?
Hmm.
Because if you if you weren't a materialist, you
Hmm.
we wouldn't be having this conversation
Okay.
because you'd be looking at it differently,
Hmm.
right? So it's like yes, you need to do the form, right? Like the physical expression needs to happen,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
But the way that you frame the physical
Yeah.
expression
Okay.
is relating you
Maladaptive.
wrongly to it,
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's true. That's true. I might have that wrong perspective too.
right? Which makes it a bad thing
Hmm.
because it goes again with rape, right? So
Yeah.
now you're forcefully implanting something that should
Yes.
be subconscious, actually,
Hmm.
right? Like,
Yeah.
literally should be subconscious.
This is something I used to do a lot in prayer, actually.
right?
Yeah. That I
And
forced myself to get to a certain state instead of
uh,
trusting that it would reveal itself.
and that's what surrender is, right? Like,
Yeah,
what is surrender? Surrender is
absolutely.
giving over,
Yeah.
right? So it's like, no, I don't get to dictate this move, because if I dictate this move, I'm
Yep.
gonna mess it up.
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
gonna
Yep.
screw it up,
Yep.
because
Yep.
I
Yep.
cannot be a proper author
Yeah.
of these moves.
Yeah.
So I need to be in these forms, right? And these forms give me, by agency, forms of expression
Mhm.
that can properly express my will, right? Like, because that's what it is, right? Like, there's a will, but the will doesn't get to micromanage, all right? And so it goes back to the hermeneutics of suspicion, right? It's like, okay, am I suspicious of having the right form, or do I just trust the form?
This is something I experience a lot with Tai Chi when I'm doing the Qigong thing. Am I doing this right? Is this working?
Well, no. The answer is
Yeah.
no. You're not, right? If you're asking the question, you're not doing it right.
Then you're doing it right. Not doing it right. Okay.
Yeah, that that's it. That doesn't mean that if you don't ask the question, you're doing it right. But if you're asking the question, you're not,
Hmm.
like I know, like, I struggle with it, right? Like, meditation is a complete disaster in that sense,
Hmm.
right? And it's like, no, you're playing the wrong game. And like, there's this Bible verse: a corrupt tree cannot bear good fruit.
Hmm. That's true.
It's like, don't don't go to that tree.
There's this insistence in Islamic theology. Like, one of the prerequisites of being a Muslim is trusting in the unseen, trusting that there is an unseen world. It's not just the things you see, but there are things that are happening which exceed your vision. They exceed and it's talk about that. It's talked about in how you judge a situation. Like a situation may be negative, but it still could be good, even though it's negative.
No.
Yeah.
That, again, materialist. Don't judge.
Yeah. Don't judge.
Like, why are
Don't
you
judge.
judging?
Simple as that. Don't judge. Exactly. Simple as that. Don't judge.
Yeah, like, but you see how easy it is, right?
Yeah.
Like the way that you're talking, right?
Like
You give,
even the negative is a judgment. Is that what you're saying?
yes. Also,
No, but you can be in pain. That's negative, for example.
no, says the guy who said science is neutral.
Okay, I'm not there. I am not in the world you're talking in at all.
No, I know,
I am completely not in the world you're talking in right now.
dude. What is important,
God is important.
right? Like, does God care about pain?
How should I know?
Why would he care?
Why would he not care? You're gonna
Does
have to.
does, does God care about my pen?
If it's good, yeah.
No, God doesn't care about my pen.
You're gonna have to walk me through this.
He cares about my will.
Okay.
He cares about my heart.
Ah, that's powerful. That's powerful. In Islam, there's literally a hadith that says, "He doesn't care about your outward form. He cares about your heart."
Right?
He doesn't look at you. He doesn't look at his flesh. The flesh of the animal does not reach him, but the state of your heart is what reaches him.
Right?
Mhm.
Like, doesn't matter how much offerings you bring.
Yeah.
Like
If you're
the
not in the
real
right
offering is heart.
spot.
Like,
It's actually very simple, right? It's extremely
yes,
simple.
it is super
Like
simple.
it doesn't
That's how I know you're wrong.
the fireworks don't matter. The fireworks don't matter.
Right,
What matters is actually that the inner fireworks that you're doing with the full conviction, the full faith, and the full dedication to God.
right. The
And
glory of God matters.
whether or not you become rich, whether or not you succeed or whatever, that doesn't matter.
Right,
What matters is that you're doing it in a good in a good stance. This
right.
is difficult. This is hard.
Well, if you're a materialist,
If you're a materialist, yeah, I know what you mean.
right?
Yeah,
Because it's not
uh,
something you do; it's something
yeah,
that God does. Right? Like, you stop trying to make it about you.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Right? It's like oh, God is worthy. Right?
God is
You
what? Yeah,
pursue.
worthy. Yeah, yeah,
Right? You pursue God. Right?
yeah,
You do the things that God calls you to do. And
yeah.
the story. Right? And it's like, okay, you have two options. Either you do the thing that God wants you to do, or you don't do the. You keep picking the thing that God wants you to do, and
Mm,
then you end up where you end up. And sometimes that's a cross.
Mm,
And then when you're on the cross and you're like, man, God, that you gave me the strength to be here in joy, that's the best gift that
mm.
anybody can ever receive.
I'm trying to process this right now. For example, I'm feeling the sense that this should come to a close. But now, given what you said, I'm wondering it as I'm not with you spiritually anymore at the moment. Like spiritually, I'm somewhere else now.
Hmm.
I'm like, I need to process this. This needs to come to a close because I need to process this properly, be in the right state, and then come back.
But okay, so I wanna have this as a conclusion of the conversation,
Yeah,
right?
that's good.
What does it mean to process?
Needs to sleep on it.
Right, but why do you use the word process?
It's like to digest it.
Right. What is the distinction between digestion and processing?
Well, it's not something I'm gonna do consciously. That's for sure. It's
Well, is a
something I'm
process something that you do consciously?
yes, a process is something I do consciously.
Okay, that's your materialism,
I understand what you mean now. I understand
right?
that. Okay. So you're saying
Right.
that if I'm not a materialist, I'll be using the right words.
Yes. And also, if you're not a materialist, you would be doing the right things because you would have the right words in your mind, right? So, in other
This is
words,
revealing so much. This is revealing so much about our misunderstandings. Go on, please.
in other words,
Yeah,
if you if you would trust in the right things,
yeah,
you would have words for the things that you trust for, right?
that's
Like
true.
people are really simple, right?
Mm.
They
Yeah,
they say what's in their head.
yeah, that's true.
It's like, oh, that wasn't the word I meant. No, that was exactly the word you meant. Like, that
Okay.
was exactly the word you meant, you liar.
Interesting. Let me digest this.
Like, I can see through you, right? And like, yes, you need to digest it, all right? What
Mm.
is digestion? You don't have ownership about where what you take in ends up.
Correct. Yeah, correct.
Someone else has ownership over that, and it's not you. So,
Mm.
and again, right? What are you hoping for in the conversation, right? What are you hoping for in your digestion? Because
Hmm.
if you hope for the wrong thing,
Yeah.
you're gonna get the wrong thing.
Yep. That's true.
All right. And so this is why I'm so insistent. I won't let it go. If you want to concretize the things in the heaven, you
Mm.
no longer have the thing in the heaven. You have the thing on earth. It's like, okay, you want a thing on earth, you can have the thing on earth. There's this Bible verse that says, store your treasures in heaven. So that's what I'm doing. You decide what you do.
That was definitely fruitful and helpful. I will give you that. Though we stuck on it, but it was helpful and fruitful.
And so, like, to conclude about hope, right? It's important to have right hope,
Yes.
right? When I told you you don't know how to hope, I now hope I made clear that why you don't know how to hope,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So proper hope is knocking on the door of heavens to be open.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
It is desiring for the things of God. Are you desiring for the things of God, or are you desiring for the fruits of the things of
Hmm.
God?
Hmm.
It's like,
Hmm.
if you desire for the fruits of the things of
Yep.
God, even
Then
if
you're
you
having
think
the wrong
God is
hopes.
worthy, it's like,
Then you have the wrong hopes. Yeah.
right?
Then you have the wrong hopes. Yeah.
And can I tell you what hope is? What right hope is? No, I
Mm.
can't,
I
right?
have to
And it,
hope
there's
that
like,
it will reveal itself.
right? God
Mm.
has to show you.
Yeah. God has to show me. Yeah.
And so, yeah, like it, all I can do is I can speak truth, which is really frustrating sometimes. But also, I'm learning, man. Like you know the amount of humility I had to learn.
Oh yes, I know. I know. I've I've seen you transform. You're a different person than the person I know 2 years ago. Right now, I know the
Right, right. Those that's God.
yeah,
Like there's no one but God
yeah.
you
And
can
when
attribute to that.
people were trying to tell you, Manuel, you're doing this wrong. You're not, and that was imposing themselves on you. Okay.
Right. Like I wasn't doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Like I was just well, no. Let me just phrase it differently. I
Please do.
wasn't wrong. I wasn't wrong,
Yeah.
and I wasn't doing it right.
Yes. Your implementation was wrong, but you were right.
No, my implementation wasn't wrong. My implementation wasn't right.
Your implementation wasn't right, and you were right. Fine.
And the mistake that I made was not in my implementation. The mistake that I was in my impatience.
Hmm. Yeah.
That's where the
That's
mistake is,
actually that's precise. Yeah, that's precise. That's good. That's actually very good. That's precise.
right? Because and again, right, it goes to the right hopes, right?
Hmm.
So what was I trying to do? I was trying to perfect the implementation.
Yep.
So I had the hope if I find the better path, then it will be right. It's like,
Hmm.
nope, nope. God decides the path.
Yeah.
I can only be as good as God allows me to
Allows you
be,
to be. Yeah. With this, I'm with you. With this,
right?
I'm with you on that. There's one thing that was surprised to see when I was watching one of my most respected scholars in Islam. They were telling their stories about like who they were a few years ago when they were Muslims. It's not like weren't Muslim and that, and when they were Muslims devoted to learning religions in an academic way and everything like that. They
Mhm,
were describing that they had phases where they were really arrogant. Like
mhm.
somebody would tell them that you are doing this wrong religiously, and they would say, "Ah, you don't tell me what to do." And so, like, I was shocked. I was shocked that even these people had these qualities.
Especially,
Maybe even especially, yes,
yeah, because who
especially
else, right?
because they think they're like the best or something like that.
No, why do you desire to study religion,
Mm, mhm.
right? Like people reveal who they are by what they
Yeah,
do,
that's true. Yeah.
right? It's like is why do you want to be president?
That's something that already puts a question mark when you want to be the king. That already puts a
Yes,
question mark on it.
exactly.
Like it's a concretized in Jon Snow when he says, "I don't want it." When he's offered being a king, he says, "I don't want it," but he is forced to be the king because who else is going to be the king if not him?
Yeah, but I think you need to want it, right? But you need to want it
For
because
the
you can
right
see
reasons.
no, because you can see the good that you can do.
Yes, yes,
That's
yes.
but you don't want it because you want to do good, right? Like or
The
something
thing
like
is, here's the thing. Here's the thing that Plato expresses it very well. The philosopher king wants to be king because he sees that if somebody else is king, they're gonna screw things up. He
well,
has
that
no
yeah
choice.
that like I was a couple months back I was thinking about going into politics,
Mhm.
and I wasn't even wanting to do policy because I don't necessarily believe in policy, but I was just like, no, there needs to be a voice in politics that speaks the truth,
Mm.
and that will change the discourse, and
Yeah,
that's all the effect that I need to have. Like I
yeah,
don't need to do things. Let
yeah,
other people do that stuff. Like
yeah,
that's not for me
yeah, yeah, yeah,
because I can't. Like that's not that I shouldn't even be doing that
yep,
because
yep,
that's
yep,
not
yep.
my role.
It's not your place. It's not your
No,
place.
my role is to speak truth.
Yeah, you have a specific thing that God allows you to do, as you said.
Right.
This was
So yeah.
so. I'd actually like to conclude by trying to restate the most important things I learned in this conversation. I think one
Okay.
of them is this materialism thing, actually. Um, Specifically about the implementation. This is a problem I run into very often. I'm praying and I'm constantly asking, where's the state? Where's the attention? Where's the joy? Where's the. And that's like, you leave that up to God. It's not up to you. Um, Also, with this distinction in the way we think, how you're very precise on the terminology, and you see, like it's like you insist on using the right words because they connect to the right spirit somehow. And this kind of opens my mind to being more precise in how I speak, because paying attention to the words I use can have an impact on which spirit I am. This is what I'm thinking.
The power of life and death is in the tongue.
And the tongue. Yeah, it is. It really is.
Yeah.
It
And we're
really is.
back to Jordan Peterson. Okay.
Like, also, one thing that gave me a lot of hope is what you said about letting the virtues speak for themselves instead of trying to squeeze them into this world, but rather just trusting that things will reveal themselves if I hope for it to appear in the right place. I think this is one of the most important lessons I took from
Right.
this.
Right. And so you started talking about implementation of prayer, right? And the question is, what are you doing,
Hmm.
right? Like, what are you doing when you're praying?
Hmm.
What are you doing when you're talking to me,
Hmm.
right? And so both situations are actually asking questions, right? A prayer is a question.
Yes.
Talking to me where it went wrong is asking a question. So what are you doing, right? You're. Do you want me to tell you? Because I don't think you want me to tell
What do you mean?
you. Well, what you want is you want to drag me down. What you want is you want to drag God down instead of being lifted up, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Because like when you do these things, right? And like you say, well, do this because that's necessary. I'm like, how does he even think this stuff works,
Okay.
right? Like I don't see a participation where that happens that goes
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I'm starting to see the problem you see in it. I'm
So
starting to see the problem you see.
if that's your relationship to me, that's your relationship to God as well,
Yeah, could be.
right? It's like, oh no, there's just no participation in which your prayer can be right,
Yeah.
right? And so, two things: heart no. This is what I learned in church. It's like,
Hmm.
does this help with my presence with God or not?
Hmm.
And I just kept shooting everything down that wasn't helping with my presence with God.
Hmm.
So what one thing. The other thing is the positive version, right? What am I desiring,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? And like I'm lacking on this department a lot, right? But it is what I'm desiring is the fullness of my heart participating in God,
And God.
right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm desiring. So if I'm praying, like that's what I should be aiming for. And everything that's not that is me putting a framing, a shader, a coloring, right? Which is not necessarily bad, right? Because you can aim a little bit or something, right? But you have to stay true to the purpose,
Yeah,
right? Like you have to desire God to tell you, right?
yeah,
Like you have to desire me to tell you,
yeah, yeah.
right?
That's
If
true. Yeah,
and if you're desiring a specific and not what I give you, you're not desiring me to tell you. You're desiring the answer that you expect.
yeah,
I was like, well, if you expect the answer, then you get the answer, which sometimes is no, just no, like no, like I'm not
mm,
gonna play this game. And oh, this I keep adding things, right? But we were talking about the cop,
mm,
right?
mm-hmm,
And it's like I didn't bend to the cop's will, to the
Yeah.
cop's game.
mm-hmm.
I didn't bend to your will. I didn't bend to your game. What if you're with the person that does bend?
Hmm.
Okay. So now you get to dictate the game that you're playing and you never go to the truth because now you're both stuck
Hmm.
in the box. That's what everybody does. Everybody puts you in the box with them.
Yes. Yes. It's true.
Everybody keeps playing foolish games
Identity. Everybody keeps assigning identities.
instead of listening to God.
Yeah. Yeah. There was an interview I watched about addiction. There was a point at the end of the conversation where the addiction specialist said that sometimes by helping, you're actually making things worse because you're making an identity out of it that you're the helper and this is the addicted person. That made so much sense. So much sense.
This is why I think psychology is evil.
Hmm.
Because I don't think sometimes, right? I think it's unavoidable,
Hmm.
right? So what you're basically doing is you're carrying someone else's cross if it is working, right? Like most of the time it doesn't even work, right?
Hmm.
But if it is working, you're carrying someone else's cross. Nobody can carry the cross of another.
Hmm. Yep. لا تزر وازرة وزر أخرى. No barrier of burdens can bear the burden of another.
Salvation is personal in
Yep.
that way.
Salvation is personal. Fully agree. You have to make the choice.
Amen. So thanks everybody.
Anyway,
I hope we get some amazing comments on this video because
I also
honestly,
hope that people get to watch 3 hours. It's been a long time. Also, I hope people.
well,
Let's see.
they can well, if
Fast
the
forward.
light is guiding them, they
Yeah.
will end up here. Let's just say
Yeah.
it that way.
Hopefully. Hopefully.
If they,
God bless.
but it's it. I'm if you can see, if you have eyes to see and ears to hear,
Yeah.
that's it.
That's
If you
enough. You don't need to
if you
watch the whole
don't,
thing.
no. Like
Yeah.
the fact that you go to the end, right?
Yeah.
means that you participate with the truth
Yeah.
that's conveyed in a manner.
Hmm.
I like that says a lot. And if you turn off the video, that says a lot too. Right?
Yeah.
It says a lot. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please leave a comment, and we'll do more videos probably. Maybe not with Ahmed, but I think he will be there too. God bless.
God bless.